Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Melos Machina. We hope that you have had a fantastic week. We are back at it again for another continuation of the adventure as our players are making their way back to the town. I think we're going to go ahead and just dive right into it, shall we?
Hey everyone.
So, when last we met our heroes, having defeated the strange creature in the cave, you decided to explore a little bit farther, and deeper in you found, rather startlingly, a hole in which two more apparent corpses of these creatures resided. As a group, having fished one of them out of the hole and taken it back, you then made your way back towards the cart with the help of Chauncey dragging the two metallic creatures along with the corpse that you had fished the barbs out of. Then returning to the cart, and then Andy taking some time to fix it up so that it was in good traveling condition, or at least traveling condition. You as a group made your way overnight, heading back towards Riversmeet. Fairly unhindered, with just the appearance of a singular wolf that was following you, and after being chatted with, darted away. Some secrets being revealed to the party as well. You found yourselves, as the sun was rising at the far outskirts of Riversmeet, you were able to see it in the distance, with the sudden remembering of, shoot, we needed to send a message.
Oopsies.
The sun is up.
So, other than just I'm very tired, I think maybe we should take a rest, because otherwise I will not be able to send a message to Marco, and then we will be here on the other side of this very vast and imposing river. And when I asked how deep this river was, I was told it was very deep. So we should probably not play with it.
Right.
and wait
Yeah,
for Marco.
I'm happy to keep watch if you all need to nap.
If that would be okay.
It would be preferable to proceed with the day as prepared as we can, yes.
Yeah. You don't need some company?
You need sleep,
I need a lot of things.
and Chauncey is good enough company.
All right. well,
Although
that's fair.
I appreciate it,
Sure.
Also, I
I
know
think you all need to rest.
the three of us will be right back up pretty much. It's only for a few hours.
Just a quick nap.
Little 4-hour meditation or so.
Fine with me.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate
course.
you. And I'm gonna walk over to Chauncey and give him a little, cheek scritch him.
As you reach out, his cheeks are very cold, as you've just been walking all night. It is as if you are brushing up against an icicle.
Just gonna wind it away.
Let's see.
Oh no! Oh, I wish I could talk with you.
No, me too.
Yeah. Maybe someday.
Someday.
Maybe. And if you need anything, wake us up immediately.
Would it be pertinent for me to string an alarm sound just in case you
I mean,
get distracted?
wouldn't hurt.
Sure.
At least the sun's up now, and we're close to town. Hopefully, no spider attacks or
No,
otherwise.
but God forbid anybody be watching, waiting in to steal what we have in our cart.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Good to be safe.
As soon as possible, Scott, I'd like to just set up ritually cast alarm in a 10-foot, 20-foot cube around the cart.
Absolutely. So as you are all setting up camp, Aaron's setting up the alarm on the outside. Is there anything else that you were doing to prepare for this rest? Or
My bedroll, I believe, is currently being used. So
Guys,
I am going to just pretty much. I'm going to find a nice spot of the softest grass and just kind of smoosh, 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 smoosh.
Aaron, as you are setting up your alarm spell, Dwathi finding a nice little patch of grass, deciding this is good, and
I will do something somewhat similar,
You
but closer to the cart.
you can use my bedroll if you want to. Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. I can sleep anywhere.
Okay.
As Finn lays out his bedroll, I grumble kind of under my breath about how this is when I normally start my morning routine, and how will I ever be able to fall asleep with the sun up, and within moments of putting my head down, I'm out.
so even with the fresh light of the sun, which normally makes it a little harder to crash, you're all finding rest and begin recovering as you keep an eye out. The alarm spell is up.
And this is an auditory, so that everybody can hear it. Not just
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm just sitting in the cart, legs swinging, looking around.
Absolutely. As you peer around, you can see the Mifstrian River that you had been traveling along, is flowing, adding that wonderful, just rushing water as background sounds, with the calling of birds throughout the day. You can very far in the distance hear the sounds of the workers in the North District of River's Meet. From here, though you can't really see much detail, you can see the other side from where you are. Over the course of this break, a small herd of deer begin just clampering along and come up to the Mifstrian and wade into it and begin swimming across to the other side. But you complete a long rest over the course of a few hours, taking up a good chunk of the day at this point.
After my trance, DM, I would like, since it'll only take 4 hours, and when I wake up, I assume that Finn will still be sleeping. I would like to go looking about the area and see if I can just pick up some herbs or plants, anything that looks like it might be useful. I'm not really familiar with the plants in this area, but I figure maybe I could take some and play with them a little bit.
That's fair. Are you looking for anything just in particular, or a purpose for it, or are you just kind of going and grabbing what you
Mostly
think?
my herbalism kit is very empty, so I'm sort of just kind of looking to fill it out with anything that might be sort of useful, but again, I'll probably need a little bit of help identifying anything, so I'm thinking just
Sure,
sort
absolutely.
of grabbing anything that looks like it might be useful, in my experience with how plants grow. And
Absolutely. Give me a survival check.
a bit.
And if you're using your herbalism kit to kind of identify what is there and what you can use, let's go ahead and do this. Add a +2 to this.
Ooh, that's very good. That's going to be a soft 20.
Soft 20, very nice. You do find a collection of, though you aren't able to fully identify them, looking through the short grass here, you find 4 different plants that sprout up, and you are able to collect, and you will be able to add them to your herbalism kit, but at the moment they are unidentified.
At the end of Aaron's 4-hour rest, similar to the day prior, though, first time Andy, you're probably seeing this. Aaron sits almost stick straight up, and as he opens his eyes, there is a soft blue glow to his eyes, and tendrils of blue magic radiate from a small pendant that's hanging around his chest, and they weave their way up towards his temples before he blinks his eyes open and greets anybody who might still be awake, and just clears his head for a moment and
I try not to stare, but that's cool.
So, Finn is probably still sleeping, huh?
He looks that way.
Out like a light, holding my spellbook like a teddy bear as I sleep.
Oh boy.
what is our first priority of the day, friends?
Well, I assume we should probably talk to Dr. Sada, get these bodies immediately to her. But, while we're there, I'd like to also run some experiments with the quills and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because
Sure.
seeing those 3 now
Yeah.
worries me that we're going to encounter more.
Sure.
So,
Well, we can always ask her if she has done any further experiments,
Right.
because
Which
It
I'm
has
sure
it's been
she
about
has.
a day or so,
Yeah.
she may know much more now at this point than she did when we left, you know?
Finn and I might need to keep one of them, but the
Right.
dead body and the
Oh,
one.
we should have brought all of them. Ah, well.
No, they were so heavy.
Heavy load.
They were
Yeah.
Not really
Very
outfitted
heavy.
for
Yeah, I
mass
don't.
transport.
Yeah, I don't know if we could have transported one more. So
GM,
Mhm.
with the bodies of the 2 creatures, were they all about the same size? Or were some of them smaller and others larger? Like, does it look like there's a animalistic growth pattern?
Going back and looking at them, give me a. I would let this be your call of a medicine or a nature.
Surprisingly, I wouldn't do medicine.
Okay.
17.
17. Looking at the 2 that you have, there is a slight size difference. The one that, although the fresher kill, the one that you encountered, was a little bit larger than the one that you found. The one that you had left behind, thinking back, it's hard to remember. But between these 2, there is, I wouldn't call it a massive size difference, but definitely notable.
Okay. Yeah, I just couldn't stop but think that what if these are somehow a natural conglomerate of an automaton?
like how?
Right. It shouldn't exist.
No.
Never have I seen this.
Nor have I. I mean, it's really hard for my brain to fathom that these are some sort of organic creature.
Hybrid?
I don't.
Someone in this town has answers. I refuse to believe otherwise.
Yeah. I hope so.
Just hoping the people that have answers aren't dead.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so Dr. Sada first. And then I guess you and when Finn wakes up can talk about.
Yeah, I don't know, cause on the side, do we know how to get back
Good question.
To
to the Atergog? That's where we left from, right?
oh, from here, getting back to Saros Manor, You don't have a map.
Right.
But you do have a general idea of nearby areas.
Cool.
But you don't really have a heading.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting thing is like we were teleported here, which was wild on its own. But we don't exactly have a plan on how to get back.
Then we have a very long
So,
walk.
yeah.
It's weeks
Yeah.
from where we are.
Yeah. I don't know if we ask people if we can take a boat, where the nearest train is. I have no idea, to be honest. But we'll figure it out.
The town seems to be a center for trade. There has to be someone who knows
Yeah,
the
a
routes
way.
to Saros Mena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Galgan might. I don't know. He's a logger, a businessman. He might
Sure.
know
Yeah.
how to get back, but I know the rough journey back is just a long,
Sure.
very, very long, beautiful walk.
Yeah.
I'm sure Brody will want his cart back as well.
Yeah.
We'll have to settle that score.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of fixed, but
Impressive enough, hopefully, to garner a good relationship with the man.
yeah, I mean, at least I did what I could with what I had. So I can do a better job at fixing it when we get back there with proper
Precisely.
materials. So, but, yeah, we have to do that. Lots of things, busy day.
Yeah. Woof.
Yeah,
A lot to think about.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you find anything, Iwathi?
I don't know. I found these, and I'll pull out the plants that I.
Oh.
I have no idea what they are, but I used to use my herb. I have an herbalism kit, and I used to do all sorts of picking and the making of things with it, but it's empty, and I don't really know the plants here. So, I picked these. Do you know what they are?
Do any of them look recognizable from my journeys?
Go ahead and give me a survival check. And are you proficient with the herbalism kit?
I am.
Okay. Since you are using this specifically to identify herbs, yeah, go ahead and add that +2 to it.
Survival, and then okay. That'll be a 9.
A 9. You are able to identify a couple of them. So, the first one that is very easy for you to identify, it is a long-stemmed flowering plant. It comes up to about shin height, and the flowers are very similar to a dandelion with a yellow center and white petals. Duathi has found some chamomile.
Okay.
Additionally, the long-stemmed, it almost looks like a like green onion, but when smelling it, it has a very different scent. The long green stems of this is sweetgrass.
Oh. Well, hey, good news. These two would make great tea.
On the third one,
Oh, frick.
so you were able to identify
Okay.
3 of the 4. And this one is very hard to miss. Duathi has brought back purple flowering with very, not prickly, but coarse leaves that when you rub them, the very strong scent of mint comes across.
These 3 together. I don't know about this 4th one. Best not to try. But it would make a very relaxing, like, nighttime tea. The sweetgrass is usually better burned, but you can
Okay.
steep it. So this one's chamomile, the
Chamomile.
flowers.
Okay.
The sweetgrass,
Okay.
it's grass.
It's grass.
And this
Sweet.
mint, if you touch the sides of it,
Mhm.
it's square. And it helps. And it's
I know it smells so good. That's why I picked it. I figured if it smelled that good, it was probably useful.
The last one that you aren't able to identify is very low to the ground. Comes up to maybe the calf, a singular stem with a large green leaf that is almost enveloping the continuation of the stem, which might end up being the flowering part of it. But the tip of it looks almost like a green elongated rattlesnake tail.
oh. Ooh.
Okay. Well, I will not make tea out of that one till I figure out what it is.
Probably best. But if you do and you want to experiment with it, I will be right here.
Okay.
Just in case. I can help.
Right. Because you can do that thing that made Finn better.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Same to you. That's also, you seemed put off last night when we were talking about this, of thinking of stabbing myself with a quill with Dr.
I do
Sada.
not think you should do that thing.
I will throw my hat into this protest as well, yes.
Yeah, just know, I think it would be safe, but also I don't want to freak you out, so I won't do it if you don't want me to.
In all fairness, I'm not really a fan of Dr. Sada.
Oh, she's
So if
pretty
you
cool.
would do this, I will just step out the room.
Why do
Okay.
you not care for her? Do you know her from...
No, just her professionalism doesn't sit with me.
Oh.
She's a little kooky.
Exactly. I cannot stand being in the room with her.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
with all due respect to our interests and our curiosities, if you are paying a visit to Dr. Sada, I think I will actually abstain.
I understand. I understand that relationship.
Yes.
There are some people who just don't know when to stop. She's the fun kind for me.
And in all transparency, my curiosities for the day do lie elsewhere within the city.
Oh.
Sure.
I'm curious as to what Marius has found in those lockboxes. I'm
Yeah.
Oh,
actually
that's
kind of
cool.
interested. Perhaps Brody might have more information on your friend who was attacked from the original cart that we are returning.
Right.
You seem to have a good working relationship with them. They might be able to provide some answers as to what they were transporting on the day that they left.
Yeah, we should see if... Actually, we should see if Galkin recognizes the corpse at all. I know that's
mean,
dark, but
But that is what you do when you are trying to figure out who has died.
yeah.
Again, I cannot stand to see a puzzle unsolved. I just want to resolve this entire
I
issue
know.
entirely.
There's a lot.
Yes, so the medicine curiosities I'll leave to those more bold than me, but
I can only imagine what Finn is dreaming about right now.
I know.
He's been through it,
Yeah.
poor kid.
Yeah.
is that something that comes naturally to you? I can removing poisons from someone. You're very
Not-
swift and seemed rather intuitive.
I just felt the pull. Something felt off, seemed off, sounded off, smelled off, and I just had that urge.
Hmm.
And it worked.
Thankfully.
Yeah, it's the first time I've done it.
Oh,
Oh. Well, congratulations.
Thanks. I mean, thanks.
It's a big deal. It's the first time you have done something.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting, but also I want to see what else it can do.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I can bolster myself, but that was the first time fixing something like that.
Yeah.
quite important.
Yeah. I do want to check the wound when he
Really?
wakes, just
Yes,
Yeah.
in case.
must be diligent in these moments.
Yeah.
Maybe don't mention it to Dr. Sada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't think so.
I just worry about her instinct to try to make him either a subject,
Right.
a patient, or an enemy. If
Yeah. We don't need that. We have a lot more to find out from her, so easier to not mention it.
yeah. Well, I might go spearfishing while we wait for Finn?
Sure.
Anyone want to join? Hang out?
Oh, I will go.
Great. Yeah, so I'll just walk off to the shore and spearfish until Finn wakes.
We'll mostly watch. I can spearfishing. Just
Aaron is just going to turn his attention to his spellbook and just review his tiny little book.
Finn, as you are sleeping, it is relaxing, and at first you barely dream. But in the darkness of deep slumber, you find yourself walking down an endless hallway. Or you think it's a hallway. You know there's a floor, but there are no walls to either side. And as you look up, you see a ceiling grow above you, a large archway, this vaulted room. And as your gaze comes down, they grow, and walls extend, and then shelving extends. Within that shelving, you find yourself walking down the hallway of an endless library.
Amazing.
You look at the walls, and unmarked tomes are filled on these shelves. As you keep walking and walking, your footsteps echo where they shouldn't, as the books would absorb the sound. Looking farther down the end, it vanishes into the point of blackness as the shelves just continue and continue and continue in this room of untapped and unending knowledge. But as you look down, you see the metallic face staring back at you. And as you see it, the bookshelves, the books on them off in the distance begin to fly off as if a breaking wave from either side coming towards you, closer and closer. And as the books hit, your eyes open.
Up. Finn, I sit bolt upright.
You okay?
Okay.
Yep. Right. Guess I'm just not used to sleeping outdoors like this. Yes, it's quite alarming to wake up with the sun up, and I'm fine.
Well, you fell asleep pretty fast.
Did I? What? Oh, it's late.
Yeah.
I did
But that's
not.
because you slept for quite a long time.
Have you
Well,
all been waiting for me?
yeah,
Periodically.
you needed the sleep. We've been chatting and doing other things.
We
so-
made plans. I got things to make tea. Aiken was
That's
very good
true.
and cut fish.
Caffeinated.
No.
The pep in your step kind of tea.
I don't think so.
I did not catch any fish.
No, I don't think it is caffeinated. No, I don't think
That's
so.
all right.
No, it's
Didn't get the
calming, kind of like a nighttime concoction.
impression. So I'll make some when we go to bed. Probably very, very, very late in the day.
Right. It's gonna throw off my whole routine.
Yeah.
Well, I'll skip the calisthenics. I think walking through the night might have been enough, and I do need some time to prepare for the day.
Certainly. If you want, how long do you need to prepare?
Oh, just a couple minutes, 5, 10.
Sure.
I imagine also, between the time that you send the message and
That is exactly
When-
what
Right,
I'm thinking.
yes.
It will
Here.
take me about 10 minutes or so
Yeah.
to get this spell taken care of.
Well, by all means, don't wait on my account.
I'm going to go then and sit down by the banks of the river, and then sit crisscross applesauce, and I am going to hold out a piece of the dried meat from my pocket, and I'm going to spend 10 minutes just sort of gently breathing and looking for a bird who perhaps will take this morsel and will take a message for me.
All right. as you sit there, a small sparrow finds its way over to you.
Oh, hello.
Lands down on the ground and kind of hops towards you and pecks away at the food.
Aren't you just beautiful? Okay. So, little sparrow. Let's see. I get. Hold on. Let me just double check what messages I get. How long do I get to talk? Doesn't tell me.
Oh, poor Marco.
Okay. What did Marco look like again? I did not write down what Marco looked like. I wrote down that he was a young man and that he was a sailor, but I did not write down what he looked like. Which I'm also realizing. Would I remember what Marco looked
I will
like?
say, for the sake of this, you remember the young, fresh face of Marco.
Okay. So I will look at the sparrow and I will gently take a finger, just very gently, just soft it up of the feathers on the head. Okay. So there is a young man. His name is Marco, and he is going to be right on the river, and he is very, very young and very, very excited. And I would like you to tell him, hello, this bird is from Duati. We are across the river, and if you could please come and help us get back across, we would be very grateful. Thank you.
And gives a little tweet and flies away. Now, in this spell, does it come out as your voice? Perfect.
Great. Awesome.
Very good. We did not send the bird in the middle of the night.
And the small sparrow flies off towards River's
I
Mead.
do not imagine if I was, sitting in the bed asleep, the first thing I would want to do is, hello!
Standing on his chest.
I mean, that is kind of how you used to wake me up when we first met.
Little bit.
Yeah. It was nice, though.
It's fine.
Helpful. Finn,
Yes.
first, how are you feeling?
Well, aside from a little stiff after sleeping on the ground for 2 nights, more nights than I ever have slept on the ground.
You'll get used to it.
Aside from that, I'm feeling fine. I'll pull open my collar and look down at where the puncture wound had been, and see if it's progressed or healing.
It seems to be healing fairly well.
And yeah, I think I'm just fine. Thanks to you.
I just wanted to check. If you feel weird, just let me know.
I certainly will, although hard to say what's weird out here and what's normal. Still adjusting.
We also mentioned while you were asleep, maybe not telling Dr. Sada yet.
Why? She would want to know.
That concerns me. I don't want her to get too attached to you as like a patient or a subject.
Right.
We were worried about her trying to study you,
Yeah.
so.
I don't get the impression she would. Well. All right. Well.
Do you want to be studied?
Yeah, I think she has the best of intentions. I just feel like you'd get stuck there for a bit.
You ever been presented with a birthday cake and tell yourself only one slice, and then find that you consumed the whole thing before the end of the night? That is our fear.
Yep.
Right. Well, my birthday parties, I was typically the only one, so I have.
Oh. By yourself?
Well, no, we had the staff.
But with family? You have...
Father worked a lot.
Okay, well, when is your birthday? And we will have a proper bash.
Uh-huh. I give a date.
I
It
give
is-
my birthday.
Not this month.
You see Aaron doing mental arithmetic comparing Finn's age to his. Oh, the cringe.
All right. Well, if we aren't going to tell Sada,
I mean, we can if you think it's important.
Yeah.
I am.
I
we're
I
still.
feel like she has enough to look at with what we're bringing her, so
That's fair.
yeah.
Right, and we can keep our own eye on things.
Yeah.
And if your, whatever it was, your touch worked, then we have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We are still going to bring her the specimens, right?
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes,
I was just saying that we'd probably keep one of them.
Well, we could, or maybe she can hold on.
I guess she could.
Could your people come here?
I'm sure they could if we could get a hold of them. Did you say the overseer reports to the order? Maybe if we talk to him, he can get a message.
That's true.
I'm not familiar with the workings of communication among the overseer here in this particular town, though seeing as they hold a position of power, I would surmise that they have connections back to Melos Machina. It is worth an inquiry. And in the meantime, while we relay these messages, perhaps Dr. Sada can work on, first and foremost, preserving this
Yeah.
for transportation.
That's
Ivan
true.
has mentioned it is
Yeah.
weeks' travel.
Yeah.
I could send
Well-
a bird, much the way that I sent
Yeah.
this bird, but also I don't
That'll
really
be
know how
Yeah,
long it would
we
be a very
can-
long time.
Ask, like Captain Fieri or someone.
Precisely.
Right.
We need
Yeah.
to communicate up the chain that we have
yeah.
need to contact Melos Machina.
Because, yeah, that would be great if they could come. I mean, they obviously have teleportation ability.
Right.
So that would be great if someone could come here
Well, and
instead of.
technically, as far as our business is concerned, we haven't wrapped up anything. This
No,
is just a
like-
loose thread or
Yeah.
tangent or
Yeah.
unrelated.
Yeah,
No,
we don't really know.
No, we have merely scratched the surface
Yeah.
of this inquiry.
Yeah.
So I certainly wasn't planning on heading back right away.
No,
Um,
but yeah, it would be great if someone could come here and take
Right.
one of them at least, so
You know,
they
unless
have it.
You want to just drive around a dead dog?
Not really, and
Metal.
they're kind of heavy, so.
Right.
I can keep it from rotting as we travel, but alternatively,
I-
it is a lot to carry, and
Yeah,
I don't
I-
imagine you want to carry it
No,
for a
I
few
think
weeks.
Dr.
And then I would have to
Sada.
come with you, and I don't.
Yeah. No, Dr. Sada can keep them for now, and we just have to figure out how to message the order and
Right. That's all.
have them come here. Because, yeah, like we said, there's a lot more. We didn't really finish our mission, so
Right.
there's a lot more to
Yes.
uncover.
So, where to first
Well,
once we
let's-
cross the river?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, let's get the cart to the dock, and then
Yeah, and then we can bring it back to Brody.
yeah, let's go to Sada first with the bodies.
And then we should go
And then
talk to the
Brody.
gentleman at the docks and
Yeah.
see if he
Yes.
has more information
Yeah.
for you.
And then we can talk probably tomorrow about messaging the order.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you wanted to do stuff in River's Meat as well?
Just more along the lines of discussing with Marius
Marius,
and
yeah.
picking up the threads that we had left off
Yeah.
on this initial inciting incident.
Yeah.
So we have quite
Yeah.
the itinerary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we see Marco at all yet across rowing away?
Oh, definitely not. Well, at this point where you've camped, you're still fairly far away from the town
Okay.
itself. You're nowhere
Oh.
near the
Well,
shoreline.
we should
Right.
keep going then.
Or,
We'll-
yeah. Let's,
We will have been walking and talking after.
yeah.
Presumptively.
yeah. Get where we need to be.
All right. With a short travel over, it takes you about 20 minutes, and from there you begin to reach the outskirts of the overseer's estate. You see up ahead the very familiar dock from which you were dropped off at.
So many people must live here. How many people live here?
town?
No, it is.
In the
I point to the overseer's house.
it might just be the overseer and
One person lives in that?
yeah, that's people with money.
Guess it probably comes with the title.
Yeah.
If we do make it back to Melos Machina, I'll show you my estate. This is, well,
You have a bigger house than this?
I mean, it's not that much bigger.
One can also presume that there are people who work there professionally,
Right.
so they might
Doesn't
be living
mean that they
quarters.
live there.
Right.
Precisely.
Staff, there was guards outside.
Your house is bigger than
I don't, well, I actually don't know. Is
Your house would, your home growing up would have been similar sized to the Castavan estate. However, this one is definitely larger, and in addition to the house itself, clearly it has grounds as well, which
Right.
yours did not.
everything's a little packed tighter together in the cities.
Oh,
But there are many houses.
do many people live in your house too?
A few. Father, me, the staff. There's not many of them.
I don't know what I would do with so much house.
It can get lonely, to be honest.
I imagine it would.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Get that.
Anyway,
I lived in a small house with my dad and a lot of sisters, so
how many sisters?
now I have to double check 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And where do you fall in line of succession?
Oh, I'm the youngest.
Oh, that's funny. Aiken is the oldest.
Of 7. Yeah.
At this point, you have found your way onto now the wood planks of the dock, and now that you are here looking out over the Conderflow, you don't make out any person in particular, but you see a much larger vessel than what you had been brought across on that is making its way from the western shore towards you.
He remembered.
Yeah, I was gonna say phew.
You can see this appears to be less of a skiff or a boat, much more like a barge. It's the sides of its hull raising out a little bit above the water, higher than that of the small rowboat that you had been brought across. And you also see that it is moving with a fairly constant speed. As it begins to just get closer, you hear the gong 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 gong. And at the far back, you can see a what appears to be almost a small hut on the back of this ship. And at the helm, you see Marius.
Oh,
all right.
well, that works out.
I'll wave him down.
As you wave, he waves over. No sound at this point. You can just hear the sound, the boat itself.
That makes some of our errands a little bit easier.
As soon as the ship comes into view, I'd like to look in the back of the cart. And are the bodies of these creatures wrapped well enough that they're essentially hidden from view?
Not fully. There are bits sticking out the front and the back.
Our little sausage rolls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's very clear that there are things in there.
Do we want to try and bundle all of our packs on top? Are we worried about being found out?
I mean, I feel like they all know.
Okay.
Are these things that we need to hide?
I don't think so.
I don't think we know.
Yeah, I mean, it is alarming.
That is
But-
more my concern. Raising
Yeah.
alarms, perhaps they don't want these things on the ship.
Okay, I mean, maybe we just put the rest of our bedrolls over
On
them?
top.
That's what I was thinking.
We're
right?
not carrying them in like trophies. So I don't
you're,
think there's any.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
We're not smugglers, but we
I
don't need to be
guess-
asked any questions we don't have
Yeah,
answers to yet.
And if we're
right?
walking around the town with it, yeah, you're right.
They've had enough alarm, I'm
You're
sure.
right.
for-
That, yeah. I'm sure me and Chauncey are enough. So,
At this point, Marius on this large vessel is now much closer. You hear the kong, kong, kong coming off of the back as he spins the wheel, and the ship begins to drift now as you hear kong, 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 kong. As whatever is powering this boat seems to have sputtered down, and there's a gentle drifting, and at this point he leaves the helm and jumps down a small flight of steps and vanishes ever so slightly. You can see just barely the top of his head over this wall that is now in the ship as he raises back up onto a small platform, and a rope in hand hops on down and with a rather loud thunk onto the dock says, "Oh, now it looks like you've all had a bit of a time, and I see you found your cart.
Your cut.
no, Brody's
Brody's
cart.
I'll take the cart. But,
It is owed to somebody else. Thank you
Yes.
for your expediency.
no worries.
Yeah.
I understand. Marco came and told me you were being expected. We figured you might need something a bit larger. Excuse me. As he takes, so he has two ropes in hand, heads to the bow, ties it off, rushes to the back, and begins working on that. So let's get you loaded up and let's get you back to the other side. Welcome back. Hope you had
Thank
a good
you.
trip. That he walks towards the center of the ship at this point along the wall. You can see thwacks against the hull twice, and a small part of it opens and is now a small ramp. And you can see that this is what inside of this, the interior of the hull is just large open space. It appears to be able to haul lots of stuff.
Is there anything else that we can see inside at the moment?
Inside the hull itself, it's open to the air, but it appears pretty empty.
Okay. Is there anybody else like on this dock as well? Like, is this like a almost like a ferry, or is it like literally just built for us,
The
or not built, but like intended to come pick us up? Like,
the dock that you're currently at, it's a small private dock.
Oh, okay.
But and the ship, looking about it, it seems very well worn.
okay.
So it very clearly it's a working vessel.
Okay.
Right. Is it just us and Marius on the...
But yeah, Marius seems to have been handling this on his own.
Cool.
Let's get these loaded up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah. They're heavier than they look.
All right, are we keeping it on? Just bring the
Might-
cart
might
on.
as well.
Might
Yeah,
as
I
well.
feel
Right.
like
Alright.
we can take it off Chauncey and make it a little bit easier.
Well, if
to-
you want, we can the opening, and you can see it's large enough. You can
Oh,
take the cart
okay.
right on
Yeah.
board.
Great.
Chauncey, haul it on in. and-
Sure. And then we'll take it off.
All right. As Chauncey steps onto the ship, there's a very clear just as the boat gets a little lower into the water, and even more so than as the rest of the cart. Like, all right, well, you got quite a lot there, I see.
Yeah.
Well, let's get going then, shall we?
Yeah.
After you. And he offers you all on board.
I run right onto it.
Yeah. I kind of go up to Marius and I'm like, there's a lot that we have to talk to you about, but when we're done, I need to know more about how this boat works.
Sure. It's mostly steam.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Can I look at...
Absolutely. We've got it's going to be a short trip over, but you're welcome to take a look at the engines
Cool.
if you want.
Cool.
If you want to describe
I'll-
the parts, I can take notes.
Okay.
Right.
Adam, do you want to talk to Marius then, and I'll be back?
Yeah, maybe
If an
But-
opportunity presents itself, Marius, yes, we have business to refer to with you.
Of course, I will be. I'll be at the helm the whole time. So if you want, it's underneath. There's the door that's going to take you back to the entrance. And he points to the back as you rush in, looking inside of this. It's about 15 feet across, maybe about 20 to 30 feet long. Actually, even more so, closer to 50. And the back area. The entire interior of this is essentially in like a 5-ish foot wall.
Okay.
The hull of the ship creates this. The entire ship is essentially one large basket.
Okay.
At the bow, there are 2 sets of steps leading up onto little platforms, and in the stern, there are another 2 leading up that additionally lead to a raised area in the back that has a small hut on it.
Okay.
And he is gesturing into the hut for where the engine room is, and at the front
Right.
of this is a small steering wheel.
Andy runs.
Hmm?
Andy runs.
All right.
I run.
Rushing up into the back as the rest of you are being onboarded, you jump up the stairs and you burst open the door, and you can see, as you had been going up the stairs, in the back, the hints of a large paddle on the far stern of the ship. But inside, you see one massive boiler that has just a small pipe leading out the back through which there's windows all around in this hut. It is fairly open to the air, just steam spurting out of the back of it. Beneath the boiler, you can see a fire that at the moment almost appears like a small ember, but it is constantly going.
I call Finn over, and
I've been following, just kind of like at my own pace, just watching you, but with like a slight grin at your excitement.
we'll kind of sit down on the ground, and I'll have Finn start taking notes and drawing things.
Do my best to sketch not only what I see, but any labels, any official names of parts or anything that
Absolutely.
Andy describes in the
So
engineering.
we'll get to this in a moment.
Just
As the
in
rest
the
of
hopes
you,
that I'll build it one day.
as the rest of you are clambering aboard, once the last of you are on, Marius reaches over to the area of the hull and pulls on a rope that lifts the whole thing back up, and it seals so well that it almost looks as though there is no line now on the hull. He heads back over to where, from the exterior, you can see is where he had smacked, and he pulls in a lever and a latch, and after twisting it, flips another metallic latch over it, and the ship appears to be one whole piece again. Well, make yourselves comfortable, and time to be casting off.
Great.
Heads on up to the bow, and with a flick of the wrist, the bow line is clear, heads to the back, and as he goes up, grabs the rope, flicks it again, and you can feel the boat, not suddenly, but just a gentle beginning to drift. He heads back up to the helm, and as he does, the two of you in the back, you can see suddenly the little ember of a fire beneath begins to...
Is that supposed to happen?
Yeah. No, that it's because the boat is actually moving, so has to create more steam.
Right.
As that happens, the sound of just chung, 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 chung begins to drown you out as you hear then the splashing of water from beneath you, and the boat begins to move.
Cool. So Finn and I are just yelling in each other's faces.
It is fairly loud in there.
Cool. We'll do some studying for a little bit.
Absolutely. It is a very neat network of boilers and pipes, and you can see that it leads to then a set of cogs and gears behind it that are turning in time with the sound. and they seem to then connect to you peering out the back and looking
Yeah, I was gonna
beneath
say they're like a paddle.
one large paddle wheel that is churning and pushing the boat forwards.
Okay. Cool. We're taking thorough notes.
Oh yes.
It doesn't. There doesn't appear to be any official labeling of anything at all. And in its construction, and give me an investigation.
Cool.
Can I aid or?
Absolutely. I'd ask if you're proficient, but yeah.
Do you want to take the lead here and take my aid, or
Sure.
should we both roll?
No, I'll take.
I think that's right. I don't know what any of this is called.
A 15?
15. The construction in and of itself is fairly simple, and these are all simple designs. You've seen small steam engines before, but nothing quite to this full caliber. But the thing that really interests you the most is the fireplace and how this fire seems to be changing in size and intensity, not in a natural state. And upon closer inspection, you can see some carvings of glyphs underneath. It appears to be a magically charged flame.
Cool.
Yeah, you've seen things similar to this.
Yeah.
But this has been taken to just
A
next
different-
step
yeah.
forward. But with all of that being said, the design is very elegant in its simplicity,
Yeah.
though its construction is not quite elegant.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I think I get it.
Yeah,
I could make it better.
I bet you could. I was going to say we should. Well,
One day.
when this is all solved,
Yeah.
or maybe
I-
we build our own way back to Melos Machina.
Right. I was, it's all good information to have.
Right.
I like to know how things work.
Me too.
With that, Marius at the helm. Where are the two of you?
I'm at the front of the boat, like wherever, not near the steering wheel, but like right on the front,
Cool.
as
I
far
would
as
have
I
gone
can.
to go see the water.
So the best place to see that, you are able to climb up onto one of those bow platforms and just kind of stand there and
Taking the spray.
absolutely.
Dangle my feet.
It's not a fast trip, but it's definitely much more intense as it pushes against the water. And that, I'm just looking over at you. Oh, then, Aaron, what did you want to chat about?
I was mostly curious as to see if you discovered the contents of those two chests you had discovered from the Fairbanks. Spend some time, I imagine that some more discoveries have been made.
I was wanting to talk to you all about that, actually.
Sure.
So the two chests, we didn't find them, is the problem. There were.
What was recovered from the Fairbanks was...
Oh, the two off in the.
Yeah.
Those are for Overseer Castavan. So they were
see.
delivered.
see.
Problem is, those were 2 of 4. So most everything else that was lost from the Fairbanks was fine. We could lose it. Nothing that we lost a little bit of money on it, but at the end of the day, most everyone was okay.
Can I make an insight check?
Yeah.
To see if they really were intended for Overseer?
Sure.
Okay. Just want to see where that lies. That's a 22.
Yeah, as you're chatting with him, he doesn't seem shifty. His eyes, though, jumping between you and the horizon area, but able to be focused mostly on you. He doesn't seem to be making any sort of motions that would indicate that he's lying in any way.
Okay.
So yeah, of everything that was lost, it was materials, food, construction material. that's fine. We can get another shipment. It's money at that point. And
Sure.
unfortunately, the two that were the other two intended for the overseer, those harder to replace. We're lucky that only 2 were lost, but unfortunate that 2 were lost. So those were the ones I was hoping that I might be able to entice you and your friends to go and get.
Downriver.
Yes. I know. The downriver, that begins to get a little closer towards the... it's closer to the Prowling Fields than I'd like.
How far could they have gotten?
You were on the bow.
Oh, is that not where he
This is happening at the helm.
I don't know where that is.
It's
Not
off in the
this
back by the...
grip on
JK.
So,
What is so important to Overseer Castavan that he would risk, that anybody would risk venturing closer to the Prowling Fields to retrieve?
I'll be honest, I don't fully know the contents of those. I was just told that there were expensive cases for the Overseer.
Forgive me, I've only spent 10 days or so here in Rivers Meach. Is Overseer Castavan a more private individual, or is there...
I wouldn't say he doesn't, he's not going out and kissing any babies, but he's...
But does he make orders? Does he place orders often through your dock?
Not often. We get food for him, we get clothing, but nothing struck me as out of the ordinary on these. Like, he's had fancy things before.
Sure, but Rivers Meat seems to be such an eclectic meeting point for so many different avenues of trade. I'm curious as to what is not here that...
Well, see, that's the thing.
interest.
We may seem like a hub, but realistically, we are at the end of the road. This is where stuff comes from. You know, the far reaches. This is where we get plenty of lumber from upstream, which is great. But we have some farming lands nearby that we're able to collect in the food. But for the most part, this is where supplies are brought and sent back upriver to venture. And going downriver, getting more towards the coast. That is farther away than I would like, and more dangerous. People do go down there. There's a town down there. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's a coastal town that the Conderflow ends at. But we don't send ships down there all that often. Most shipments end here. People down there they keep to themselves. They've gone through the Prowling Fields. They've made it to the other side, and now they're happy over there. So we don't get anything from that area either.
Interesting. Aaron just kind of clocks that mentally. Would you mind scratching an itch for me?
I've got to work on the helm here, but
It's a figure of speech.
got it. What's up?
There seems to be quite a profitable businesses in Rivers Meat. People seem to make their living quite well. Though there was one particular building close to the docks that was boarded up. Did somebody leave recently?
Oh, there was a fire or something. Building was damaged, so we had to, board it up. It was deemed unsafe for public.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have that many warehouses. Losing one was rough, but
Was anyone hurt?
I rightly don't know. That would be something to talk to the captain about.
The captain of...
Captain
Captain Fieri.
Exactly. Yeah. She reported to me, let us know that there was problems there, and that they're the ones that boarded it up.
Hmm.
I'm probably gonna be sending someone in to make repairs once I've been told we can. But as far as I know, it's basically just it's been deemed off limits.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. If you say fire, I imagine the smoke damage must be awful.
I have not been in, but I was told fire damage, so I know what to prepare for. I know that I've got to do some masonry work in there. I'm probably just gonna gut part of it and rebuild it.
Well, plenty of work to be done when accidents happen.
Yep. Well, and as you said,
How goes the repairs on the Fairbanks? Is that ready for sale yet?
Oh no. That's gonna be a while. But like you said, we make a living out here, and this is my living.
Sure.
Fixing stuff.
Sure.
Well, in charge of the people who fix the stuff.
That reminds me, when we were in Brody's shop, there was somebody asking around for directions to a gentleman named Silas. Do you happen to know that name at all?
Silas. Yeah, actually. Well, come to think of it, Silas was that was the bloke who was renting the warehouse that we're gonna be fixing. That's a
Makes sense why we could not
interesting
find him.
connection. What? He's gone missing, or?
No, this individual was asking around for directions to where they could find Silas. They were perusing the store, and none of us had any information of where we could find them, so they kept on their ways.
Give me a deception check on this.
Where'd you go? 18.
18. Well, I hope they're able to find him.
Certainly.
If he's gone missing, oh God, that's I hate to think what that could be. I'm not gonna think about what that could be. I've got my own work to be focusing on, and
If he's gone missing, he might have been a victim to this entire endeavor.
Once again, I'm not gonna think about that.
Thank you for your time.
Of course. Back to proposition.
Oh, sure. Yes.
And
lay it on me.
These two cases that have gone missing downriver.
Uh-huh.
I could pay handsomely for it if you and your compatriots might be able to. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It is dangerous downriver. Really appreciate it if y'all could try and find it.
And these cases are for the overseer person.
Yes.
It is rather lucrative.
It is.
I shall confer with my compatriots.
If let them know it's lucrative in the main means of 50 gold a case that you recover. So yeah, if that it makes it easier.
It's a wonderful round number, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'll just kind of just make my leave and
Yep. And get ready, we're gonna be coming up to port here.
land ho, everyone! Land ho!
You can see the western bank of Rivers Meet has gotten closer and closer, and you are coming up to the Northern District docks. That same area where the Fairbanks, which is still there in its somewhat wrecked state, you can see that from this angle, there appear to be workers on the side of it facing out to the river that are patching it up. You also you can clock at least one of those breathing apparatuses on the dock with a tube going down into the water. But you watch as Marius, again, deftly turns the helm of this boat, and as this happens, the flame almost goes out, back to that small, almost a
The
pilot
ember.
light.
Is there any other braking mechanism, or is it just the loss of power?
It seems to be when the ember, when the fire slows down,
Right.
that's what helps it slow down and stop. So
Was the Fairbanks also steam powered, or was that a sail?
It was a
sailing
sail ship.
vessel? Okay. Right.
And yeah.
Well.
In this boat, as you begin to come up towards the Fairbanks, you can see, though smaller, is not incomparable in size.
okay.
Whereas the Fairbanks had a large upper deck and cargo below, this one seems to have foregone the deck.
Okay.
Before we leave the hull here, I'd like to get a close look at the arcane glyphs that were lighting the fire, see if I recognize them, and try to copy them down if possible.
Sure. You're able to copy
just for
them
reference,
down
yeah.
easily. But yeah, give me an arcane check really quick.
Oh, that's in that one.
You don't.
4 6.
Should have
If it matters.
helped you with that.
Actually, yeah, 4 or 6. That does matter.
There you go.
So you do recognize it as belonging to the School of Evocation, but you aren't 100% sure what it is. You have an idea that it might be a spin on a continual flame cantrip.
All right. Well, one cantrip must be powered up, but imagine what we could do with. When we put our heads together, Andy, we are gonna do great things, I think.
Thank you for taking notes.
You did I do all right?
Of course you did.
Great. Well, let's keep it up.
Cool.
When that Marius has hopped off on the opposite side now of the ship, and you can feel the boat come to a little bit more of a sudden halt as he may have tied off. There's a moment of pause. You hear the workers banging away at the Fairbanks, but then you hear the thump thump, and you look over and you can see that the metal latch that he had locked on the other side, it appears as though he had unlocked, and with that, the pressure on the wall has popped open the wooden aspect of it, and the door, and however, does not fall down nearly as much, but is now more of a mid to slight incline of a ramp leading to the docks.
I will go down and help Chauncey move the cart. Not as a horse, just kind of my emotions.
And I go, oh, we have to talk to Erin. I'm sure he learned some stuff.
Right. Well, he'll fill us in.
Cool.
As we get off, Marius. Now that we've traveled from the other bank to here, the Fairbanks, the trajectory of it coming in and hitting the docks as it did, is that unusual with the way that this flows?
Well, it's unusual for it to have hit the docks, yeah.
Of course.
Coming in at that angle, it's not the sort of thing that the natural flow of the current would have done. That was very clearly, she was under sail at the time, under her own power, but she wouldn't have just been drifting.
All right. Is Captain Fieri looking at potential cause? Like people who would want to attack a dock?
I thought it was my understanding that she may have talked to you all about that, but
I mean, not super in depth, but I think we're all looking for answers to the situation.
well, for what it is worth, I can't really think of anyone who would have wanted to attack our dock. We got a lot of work coming through here. If someone wanted to hinder that. I mean, frankly, they did more damage to the damn boat than they did to the dock. So I don't know. Could have been.
And who owns the Fairbanks?
I believe that she's part of the Plaverton Mills shipping. I think that's mostly it. Plaverton Mills owns the majority of the woodworking up in not woodworking, the lumber company up in Venture, and most of them, the shipments happen through them. They were really they're the big name, and frankly, it's who we're sending all of our lumber to. And to be perfectly upfront with it, that is who I am under the employ of.
All right. Well, thank you. I hope it gets fixed soon.
Me too. We're working on it.
Is this conversation happening with everyone around?
I'm just on the dock with Mari,
Okay.
so if you're
I
there,
am
you're there.
down and
Yeah.
hanging out with Helvin
Yeah.
County. I am not there.
I'd
And
like
Marius's
to
voice
think-
carries.
Okay, I'd like to think I was at least within earshot.
Yeah, I
some
wasn't
of
trying
this.
to be quiet
No,
or anything.
Yeah.
but there's also, I'm sure, like more action, more activity on this side of the river at all. So I just
Yeah, you're north of the Fairbanks, so you're a little a ways away from the construction, but it's
Okay.
still construction, but
okay.
in an open area.
I just want to clock that
Would
for later.
the name Plaverton have made its way into the cities? Like, is it that big of a shipping trade that I'd be familiar with it?
You are unfamiliar with the name Plaverton. Give me a history.
Sure, not with that
Also-
one.
Proficient in history? Can I also roll
Me
on this
too.
guy?
You could.
Same.
That's a
Let's,
21.
from all
for
of you. Let's
All of us upriver. 23.
Ooh,
23, 21,
17.
17.
bunch of nerds.
My gosh. You know a lot of the workings within the cities. In reference to Saros Manor, you don't recognize the name of Plaverton Mills as far as a large company, but you do recall the name from your studies. Aaron, you do recognize the name Plaverton Mills. This one, being here in Riversmeet, they are a very prominent name. They are, as Marius has said, the essentially the big construction, lumber, trade. They in the frontier world,
Okay.
they are the name.
Sure. Okay. And what I know with that history check, is it like family run? Is it like a
It
corporation?
is the Plaverton family, yes.
Okay.
Andy, you do recognize the name Plaverton Mills from your hometown. This was a place that there would occasionally be deliveries made via a Plaverton ship. Though the Fairbanks, you don't know if the Fairbanks was one or not.
Okay. Yeah, we also saw some of the.
Yeah, there was a warehouse
Yeah,
right next to.
There were like 3 or 4 that had the P
Yeah.
Right.
on it.
What's that? That clocks.
No, they good employers to work for. Do they treat you well?
I have no complaints. I mean, I suppose other than a ship running into my, but
Right.
come to think of it, it's their boat, it's their dock. Do whatever they want with it.
Well, lives were lost.
That is true.
And it's your problem now, in a way.
I don't think it was their.
doing.
I don't think lives were lost from anything owned by them.
Right.
But you're right. I shouldn't be flippant about that. But no, they're good. I have no complaints. I'm paid fairly.
Great.
It's a lot of work. It's hard work. But what isn't out here?
That I can see. thank you for the ride and the information.
Of course.
Thanks for letting me take a look.
Anytime.
Very cool.
I don't have many toys, but the ones that I do, you're welcome to look at.
Next is the breathing apparatus.
So, about that, when you get a chance, I'll. This'll make sense in a bit. I'll lend you one.
Okay, great.
Um,
Thank you.
No worries.
That's cool.
Andy is internally freaking out.
RJ
just
at
like-
the table is like, that's cool. That's real cool.
I'll go walk down and start helping Duathi with Chauncey and the cart and
Yeah,
get
at this
it
point,
right.
you've all
Yeah.
you're all on the dock now.
Should we start walking to go see Dr. Sada?
Yeah.
I think that's wise. Yes.
Great.
Sure.
You two really like things.
Oh,
Not all things.
yeah, I because I build things like Chauncey.
Like Chauncey.
I get really excited about how things work sometimes. So,
Is that the two of you taking down all the notes? Is that the things you do for this, other than investigate things? Is that what you do for the?
I mean,
later
I
gunk?
guess technically,
You could say.
but that was more for me.
Right. yes. I imagine that the little keepers and conservators not
Yeah.
super interested in our notes on
Yeah, I
boats.
think they're aware of that sort of technology existing. I just like to know in case I want to build it.
That's amazing.
So,
And I just want to know, you know the how, and I want to know the why.
yeah. Wow. So our skills are that we learned from the Atergog are very catered towards learning about these things ourselves as well. So
And not going to lie, that might have been the most fun I've had since we've left. At least it was good to put our skills to use in a way that didn't remind us of the imminent death coming from every
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah.
And the lack of
yeah.
knowing anything about
Yeah.
out here. So,
Yeah.
From every direction.
well,
Well,
there were
you know,
spiders everywhere. So.
There were
spiders
spiders. We
everywhere.
had to fight zombies.
I got
We
shot.
had to fight whatever. I point to the cart. Those are.
There was a lot of fighting.
I think that's all
Oh, okay.
he means.
Okay.
I've
Which felt
dreamed
very dramatic.
that my favorite thing in the world was attacking me, so it's really rubbing in.
Oh, that's why you woke up like that.
Oh, nope, yep, it was just the soul back from sleeping on the ground.
We
I had a bad dream.
I kind of whispered,
Sorry.
we can talk about it later. Erin, what did you learn from
Have we-
Marius?
We're walking and
Walking.
talking.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Um,
we're talking.
I don't know how far it is to Sada. A few blocks.
Marius is incredibly keen on retrieving the remainder of those chests that were lost downriver. It seems that the ones retrieved from the boat and the ones lost were a set of 4.
Okay.
And while the ones recovered were seemingly common goods and wares for the overseer, the other 2 seemed incredibly important and carry some sort of value. And
Aren't the remaining 2 then, would they be the ones you two are looking
I mean,
for?
I don't know. So he doesn't really know what's in the ones
Could not-
that they
No.
do have?
The ones that were recovered, yes, were as told by Marius, to be mundane in their report.
Okay.
However, since they were intended for the overseer, these remaining chests that need to be discovered or retrieved carry some value with them. would not know what is in them. However, is willing to pay 50 gold a chest upon retrieval.
That's so many.
And
If that's the finder's fee, imagine the cost of what's inside.
precisely. However, I'm more interested in how those two managed to be separated.
Right.
I also, if we were worried about there being contraband on the Fairbanks, and what was on there that was lost was supposed to be for Overseer Castavan, does that mean that this is a lot bigger than we thought if the overseer of this area...
I'm having second thoughts about going to him to
same.
report.
I understand your concerns. Marius was not rather guarded about this information. Did not have to pry it from his lips. He offered it freely, so...
Well, maybe he doesn't know what's in them.
Did he not find it suspicious that of the two recovered, they were the mundane, not so valuable ones?
He did not voice these concerns, though. I did not think to ask in the moment. I apologize.
And none of the ones that he recovered were the ones that you were looking for?
It doesn't seem so.
No.
Okay.
Unless he's lying to you and there was something suspicious found.
That is a third option that we can pursue.
Yeah. Well,
What we are looking for could be separate from what was lost.
It's true.
could be. Could be. I mean, I'm not opposed to looking for those chests. But it does make me a little hesitant to let Overseer Castavan know that we work for the Order.
Right.
Don't want to tip our hand too soon. Should we
Yeah.
retrieve these chests, we will potentially have a bargaining chip in our pocket.
Right.
Or we
Should
could
they prove to be something
try to get our
detrimental.
own read on him before we go out, and under the pretense of we are looking for these chests,
precisely.
Yeah.
and play our cards very close to our chests.
Yeah. That's...
It will be you're laying out a sticky path, Finn. Playing these games with people of import can be
Yeah.
incredibly delicate work.
I think we leave the Overseer out of it, other than, obviously, I would assume he's the one paying us
Precisely.
for this outing, but I feel like we should maybe try not to deal with him as much as possible until we know more.
I would feel much more comfortable crossing that threshold with just a solid understanding of where we stand in all of this mix.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you even know who was sending this contraband?
We don't know who is sending it.
I know
But
their
we-
initial.
An individual by the name of
Yeah.
S? V? What
It was L.
L.
I looked it up. Yeah, which
Okay.
makes me curious what Overseer Castavan's first name is.
Do any of the Plaverton family's names start with the word L?
None. You don't really have a sense of each member of the Plaverton family.
Yeah, I figured I'm
Yeah.
so far away then. Okay.
There is no. Yes, Lauren Plaverton. Nothing like that is coming to mind.
I knew it was a long shot. I knew it was
Lizzie.
a long shot.
It was worth a try.
They wouldn't be so dumb as to sign their own name.
But all good information to have.
We know they are of value. What we can use that information to our advantage if we need to.
Yeah. I think in the meantime, maybe we just go through Captain Fieri to reach out to the...
Although, now I'm not so sure we can trust anybody here.
Well, Yeah. But at least she already knows, you know?
True.
Yeah.
Woof.
I
I
know.
think it's something that we need to consider with everyone we talk to now.
Yeah.
Who knows what about what?
Yeah. I just don't want us, you know, I obviously am a little bit more interested in just following all of this to the end than going back. But I don't want us to get in trouble for not reporting something like this to the people above us, you know?
You know, I'm just thinking about this. The people that are above you, they just teleported you here with
Yeah.
no information on how to get back in touch.
Nope.
Okay.
You know, it didn't seem weird till you say it like that.
It didn't? Because it.
It seems
I mean,
very
it was
weird.
all weird. I think it was just it was so much weird. It was hard to absorb all of the weird properly until we could really think about it.
I thought there would be like a long walk to ask questions during. It was kind of sudden, to
Right.
be
Yup.
honest.
And the order,
Yeah.
who are you working for?
Oh, not well. We don't work for the order.
Well,
You're like
we're like
subcontractors?
yeah, more or
anyway,
less.
our organizations are.
Yeah.
Your
They do business.
organizations? Is that the Aethercog?
Yes.
Just that was where we learned how to do what we do.
The Aetagog is a structure, a building, a
It's a
campus.
school.
almost.
Yeah, it's a
you think
school,
the houses are big?
school of sorts. It's you're taught how to do things by people who are actively doing them.
Oh, okay. And but you do not work for the
No, we
Aethercog.
don't work for the school. It's we work for ourselves, but are contracted by the order to do this work.
Okay.
You're freelancers.
Yeah,
That's a fun word.
yeah,
Like a mercenary of intelligence.
sure. Yeah, it's just, I mean, yeah, I just more or less want to learn about things, so.
But they had orders from
Yeah.
the order to send you out?
Yeah, well,
That much we were told.
Yeah.
Yes, the order was tipped off. Some nefarious doings that might need the expertise of the lawkeepers and/or conservators.
Yeah.
And
The lore keepers and the conservators.
right,
Lawkeeper,
right,
conservator.
Okay.
right.
What are
He does basically
writing
the
down,
writing,
and you do
and I know how things work, and I know more about the mechanics of
Okay.
things.
And that is a conservator.
Yes.
Okay.
Would I have any recollection of brushing up against any conservators or lore keepers when I was still in the city?
In the
At work.
city, not so much. Lore-keepers and conservators in the city, they don't really have a big badge that they flash around. It is possible that you may have, that you never talked to, but you know that it was a young thing when you were there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just gonna mentally put that in there. Well, I
And
mean,
so-
if the order sent you, it's important.
Yeah, well, it's something that they didn't want to happen, obviously.
Right.
It is about at this time that you find yourselves at the front door of Dr. Sada's house.
Oh,
As soon as you knock, you hear a clattering of metal and glass in the
not
back.
surprising.
There she is.
Just a muffled shit.
Do you? I was
I'll
gonna
take
say.
my leave if
Yeah, I
you
was
don't
gonna
mind.
say if you need to not That's fine.
We will pass your regards.
Yes.
I will look at the bodies.
Suddenly the door.
Does make me nervous too.
I shall return in an hour. How about that?
Great.
And check in.
Sounds great.
Hello.
You're going somewhere.
I have business. Thank you very much. Enjoy your
Hi.
autopsy.
It's good to see you all. I hope that your business goes well. Hi. Oh, and she sees the cart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we have a lot for you.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, come in.
Can we? Do you have a?
No,
larger
I don't.
door?
I don't think that we. I
Okay.
was right there with you.
Let's just leave it for a moment. We'll show you what we're dealing with.
Well, let's bring in whatever we're dealing
Yeah,
with.
let's do
Help
that.
you. I can carry things.
Are you
carry
gonna
things.
horse into the
No,
house?
no, I'm just going to physically help you take one at a time.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think I should horse into the house.
feel
Horses
as
do
though
not
there's
go
some
inside houses.
Follow-up question. You're right. They don't. So, if we could, them. How many?
2 of.
And what?
And a
we
victim,
don't know.
potentially.
So we have one.
3?
We
Well-
have one dead body of like a person who was infected.
A humanoid.
By the specimen, we think.
Right. Then we have 2 creatures that are similar, more or less the same creature.
Okay.
That
One's very
Short-
fresh.
shot spines, the spines at us. So
Yeah.
we know they come from these. Whether or not they also come from other things, we don't know.
Excellent.
Yeah. One. So this is problematic.
Well-
and maybe we should talk in.
Yes, let's
Yeah,
bring them in
let's-
quickly, please. We'll. And Sana just holds the door open.
Help
You are
him
doing
if I
most
can.
of the work. I'm just sort of under it.
In the back, I've got the door. I don't.
Uh-huh.
Would you hold this? And actually, no, I'll prop it. She pushes it, rushes
Why is there
towards
so
the
much
back,
stuff on your floor?
and she pulls open then to the back room. Come on, bring it in.
Just toddle in.
All right, then the 1, then the 2. Where's the body?
In the
Oh,
cart.
right.
All right.
We'll
We'll get it.
That
Grab
one's much
that.
easier.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just fireman carry that one gently.
All right.
yeah
Gently.
gently.
I'm not like
Okay.
head falls off.
Come on. Yes.
I guess we'll leave Chauncey in the cart
Yeah,
out
I'll-
here.
Will Chansey be okay to wait out there?
I think. Chauncey, are you okay?
He's gonna look out. He just glances over his shoulder and sits down and just
I think
nuzzles
he's
into the
fine.
ground.
Little baby.
Dr. Sada rushes up, closes the front door. All right, yes.
I'll
So-
take the other body and just kind of set it down, almost as if it's still alive. Just lay it out.
I made sure none of them would rot any further, so they're
Yeah.
in fairly good shape.
That is so handy.
Also,
Perfect. So
I-
we don't need to put that in the fridge.
Pull out the metal tube and I say, we have 15 of the spines. If I could keep 1 or 2, that would be great.
15.
15.
It was rough.
Did you get all of them?
They're in
We think
here.
so.
All right, I'll take that. Thank you.
Some are very fresh, and others not so much.
Yeah. Also, we have 2 bodies of these creatures. There is a 3rd dead in a pit in a cave where we found this.
Right.
We just simply ran out of cart.
Yeah, they were heavy. And it was a single file cave.
And you're sure it was dead? It's
Yeah.
not been.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Duathy went in
Yeah.
there.
right.
They didn't move.
Do you?
Hopefully they don't just have like a stasis or
I
something.
mean, you know,
that would
then
be-
one of them that we have,
They are very
Watch
good
out.
at playing possum because we have been.
Well, I
Yeah.
made sure that they will not get up either.
That's
so they will
Oh,
not.
well,
They are dead.
Let's take a look at
Yeah.
them. So we'll leave the body and we'll leave one of them there. Let's, if you wouldn't mind, up on the table, and you can see the table. Her operating table is clear.
and
fair,
then
fair warning
Yeah.
before. It's definitely not something that you'd probably have seen, and avoid the tail.
Also, these are our bedrolls, so please do not cut them.
yeah,
We would like them back.
and one
We're
more
going to clean
caveat.
them.
Sorry, we work we're on out on a mission for the Order, and I think they would have some interest in at least one of these. So if we could have one back, or at least one that we could donate back to them to take a look at,
All right.
I think that would be nice.
That's a lot. Let's address this.
I
one
know
at a
we
time.
said a lot of
You
things.
did.
Just wait till you see the things.
Yeah.
Please, let's start with that.
I'll unwrap from the bedrolls and lay it out.
And her jaw
These bedrolls.
drops.
Yeah.
That is, and she just rubs the side of her glasses, and they again just begin to shine reflective as she focuses in.
They have teeth.
Right. Yeah.
We could not discover if they poop.
Yeah, they
Pretty
have
sure there's
teeth
a
and
gullet.
and a gullet.
Did not find any poop.
So potential digestive tract.
Correct.
And
Makes
these
sense.
spines are shot from the tail.
And
Yeah.
And it seems like it regenerates that spike.
of the two, did you grab the bigger or the smaller?
I would have grabbed the freshest.
Okay.
Yeah, we
of
grabbed the one that we
Yeah,
killed,
so-
and one
Yeah, the
was
one we
from
put up, I think, is
down
the-
below.
Yeah.
An excellent job of keeping
And
this
that one's missing a leg.
intact. Missing, right.
That happened before we
Yeah.
encountered
It was missing the leg
That's-
when we got there.
Interesting. Right. Whoa. I feel as though I've got enough for a lifetime here.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin.
One question
Yeah.
is, are there any creatures that you know of that would create small circular burrows, cylindrical burrows in earth? Large.
This is where we found this.
Yeah.
I mean, things dig. So it dug holes, is what you're saying.
We're not
We
sure.
don't know
tunnels.
if it was them.
But the tunnels where we were
There was
seemed
a-
carved. but
Right. There was a natural
worked.
cave eventually,
yes.
Right.
but leading up to it and then further down through it, there were parts of the cave that seemed like they were made by something.
Although now to think of it, where we found the dead ones is where the tunnel stops. So
So
it could have
it's
been them.
possible that they could dig.
I just worry that there's something bigger that
Yeah.
snacked on them or killed them
Yeah.
or
Right.
Yo,
Food for
so
thought.
this the burrow or whatever it was, do you think could you get back to that?
I
sure.
have it all mapped out.
Mapped out. Perfect. Is that the only copy of that map?
I can make a copy easy.
I would appreciate that. You know, actually, let's keep that with you. I'm
Sure.
imagining we should probably keep as much of this here as possible. I know you
Yeah.
were saying that you would like to maybe. We can sort
We'll
something out. We will
figure
absolutely.
that out.
Right.
I just wanted to warn you before we got too
And
deep
we're
into things.
Currently of like mind. We want to keep this as under wraps
Yeah.
as possible, and we don't need to report back
Yeah.
anything right now since we don't have any clear information to report. So, if you don't mind holding these, at least for the time being.
I am going to be doing a lot more than that. I
feel it.
promise you.
In the meantime, did you learn anything else while we were gone?
I've learned a bit, and she rushes over to her work table where she. You remember there being drawings of like the canine-like creatures. Those now have been entirely replaced with detailed sketches of the spines, from early drawings to full shaded and labeled. And you can see a couple of the jars on the table with that same liquid that was within the spines. But you see a progression of jars that have gone from the brightest of the green that seem to be distilled down into almost a black. And additionally, one of the spines appears to have been fully deconstructed and taken apart into segments of metal and keratin, or the organic matter. And she rushes about bringing a handful of notes. I've learned a lot, but I've also at the same time learned nothing. It is
I get that.
having a piece to the puzzle without having any idea what the puzzle is supposed to be. But now you've brought me a reference to the picture that is supposed to be there. I still am missing, I imagine, so much, but I don't know what I don't know. And so now I get to dive into this and find out what I don't know. However, I am also very interested about that. And she points down to the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go up to the body, and how decomposed was it when we found it?
It was fairly rough, but since Duathi had worked on it, it has not changed.
I'll kind of move if there's loose clothing or anything near the 3 wounds. These wounds, this body was found right at the mouth of the cave.
Yeah.
And they look just like
It's
the
growing.
wound of
It's growing.
the spike.
Yeah.
So,
That's interesting. It's almost as if its paths were cut.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what you mean, and I'm curious to know what you mean.
Yes.
It's
Right.
paths?
The glasses help.
Oh,
The infection
yes.
of it
It's
spreading.
It
Well,
gets-
it spread as far as it could.
And then its paths were cut, as in the infection could not go further?
That's what it's looking like. Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
is-
It can only go so far in the body before it stops.
It's looking like it. Now, I'm not sure if the spines were what killed this poor sap, or if they. But it's also interesting as to why it would have done this. If the purpose is to spread whatever this is, then why?
That was also beyond us a little bit as to why a metal dog creature would want to make people undead.
Yeah.
into
Was-
weird bulbous guys.
Very, that makes no sense.
Yeah, that was the other thing is, like we said, one of them we found assumedly dead. The other one
It's dead.
was alive
Was that?
and very much acted like a dog-like animal.
It's like a cornered
Seemed
wild creature.
right, seemed to express fear. Like
Interesting.
it was very animal-like.
Would you like to see?
Of course.
I pull the spellbook out, and flip through to a couple pages towards the back, close it, and kind of like glows like it's charging up. As I cast a silent image using my pre-charged instant action ritual spell for the day to create like a small scale version of this dog. First static, but then as it kind of circles around the empty part of the floor, taking the various moods and positions, the way it flicks its tail to fire.
She is fixated on it and begins stepping into the space and walking around it, studying it from all angles.
Now, this is all based on my memory, so take it with a grain of salt, but I do have quite good memory.
And it does look very, it looks accurate to what's on the table, so...
Yes, I did also try to sketch and examine the body as best I could, so...
It looks like much like the acting on more of its base instincts. Fascinating.
Now, when you look at the wounds,
Hmm.
and you say it started to spread, last night on our walk back, I noticed that it gave off necrotic energy around right where the wounds were, but no further. The whole body wasn't like the ones that we found at the docks.
Yeah.
And I wonder, with your glasses,
Well,
if,
I could see there's disease there. Are you saying it's...
like, undead energy.
She rushes over to one of her shelves with vials and vials. Right, no. One moment, she rushes back over to the door to the cold room that she had previously identified. Flings it open, there's a burst of cold air that comes out. Door closes.
All right. Here we are again.
Door bursts back open, and she has a large glass vial of a red liquid. And she comes back over to the body. All right, and pulling it up, there's a dropper bottle attached to the stopper. And she drops a little bit onto the flesh. And as soon as the red liquid hits, it spreads. And it begins to undulate. Just
Ooh, that's terrifying. Oh, wow.
that's...
What a neat thing to keep in your office. It's a little, roasting.
What are you doing?
That's... His smile comes across her face. Sorry, it's blood.
Oh, just
But it's
Oh,
responsive.
What a weird thing to keep in your office. It's blood, okay.
It's responding to it.
so.
It's because it's spreading.
I don't want to do this without everybody's consent, but also, I seem to be able to neutralize disease and poison.
Mhm.
And I had offered to pierce myself with one of these spines so we could see it in real time and then stop it before.
And I had offered
You know.
to not have
But-
one person who can fix this stuff be the test subject.
I did just
So-
start thinking about that.
If you
That was
would,
the first thing I thought about as soon as you said it.
But-
you would prefer, you could. I would rather you do it to me than to yourself. I
Tawathi,
guess.
I'm never going to do that to you.
No,
No.
but then you could kill me. And
I appreciate that offer. That is, wow. You all are very inquisitive and
You could say.
We're all almost as curious as you.
I'm
Right.
very curious, but also mostly I do not want Icon to do that.
let me just say that sounds like an offer that I would have made, which I immediately take as probably not a good idea.
Now, you saying that actually confirmed that I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Because again, I had that thought while you were away. Didn't do it because I
Didn't have Icon.
She pauses maybe a little longer than she should. I like you. No. When I have those sorts of thoughts, I have learned from experience to sleep on those. And I slept on that one, and I woke up and realizing I shouldn't do that.
I did initially
that's
think
good.
of this after a very long
I'm gonna put this
day.
back really quick. She rushes back into the cold room.
How long have you had that blood?
What?
How long have you had that blood?
This one's probably working on. She comes back out, closes the door. I don't. Maybe a couple of weeks.
I don't mind cutting my hand a little bit and pouring fresh blood on.
Well, that's why I keep it, and I keep it in storage. It's
It's still good?
still good.
Fresh enough.
Oh, on the subject of freshness, did my potions help at all?
Oh, I don't
We didn't
think we even
actually
needed
need
them.
Nope.
We did not.
But
Do you need
thank
them
you.
back?
You said
Or
they-
Oh,
can
no,
we-
they're probably not good at this
They
point.
lose
right,
potency
after a
right?
couple of
But that
days.
was very kind of you.
Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you.
I'm happy that you hid them and didn't need them as opposed to
Yeah.
The
Reverse.
other way
True,
around.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, so you were able to take these down pretty easily, would you say?
Very
Got
well.
If you had to
Yeah.
describe the pain scale on a 1 to 10 on fighting this thing,
Well, I would say it was not a giant spider level of fight.
it's an old classification. Where would that fall for you?
I'm still learning.
If I had to consider the rating of this challenge, what would I consider?
Well,
I would say
Again,
it
I've given you the
was-
scale. It's a 1 to
It
10.
was
Like-
pretty terrifying and honestly did a good amount
Yeah.
of damage.
I would
Right.
say
Um,
maybe like a 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it was difficult, but alternatively, it was not, like, oh my gosh, we're about to die.
it's hard to
Right.
quantify emotional
when you
damage.
fought this thing, what did it do? How was its tact? I could talk all night about this.
It was strangely fast
Yeah.
and wild, and yet it seemed tactical.
It felt
Yeah,
like a
it
very
didn't-
smart animal.
It didn't want to get close.
Kept
it
itself at a
seemed,
range.
And
until
heights.
it felt like it needed to get closer.
Interesting. Well, you'd think with all that metal on it, it would have a little more confidence in it.
It reminded me
Well, it was
almost
injured.
of a predator.
Yeah.
It was
Yes, an injured predator.
It w-
Right.
It
It
also-
didn't have a
Defensive.
leg.
It also felt like it was alone, and that the others were dead.
Yeah.
So,
Which-
which also is very worrisome to me because that
Yeah.
means that something killed it. But we couldn't figure out what killed the other one. So
But maybe
No.
you can. One of these was the already dead when we found
Yeah,
it.
the smaller one.
the
is
smaller one.
The one that was dead. Or deader.
Well,
Better. Am I remembering correctly? Did one of them bury into the ground and then come up?
It did. It
did
did.
that.
It did in the fight.
It did bury itself.
I
into
just
the ground.
remember
Yeah.
that.
Which also
Yeah.
would make sense since it,
It's busy
buried
not
quite
dying.
a lot of it.
so it is able to.
Yeah,
didn't
I
even
we
think
just thought of it was really scary
Stressful.
while it was happening, and then we were so curious about the creature itself. I think we fully forgot about what happened, but it was able to kind of tunnel underground.
Right.
Yeah, I followed it.
Yeah,
I remember now.
yeah.
It's okay. I black out all sorts of things.
And yeah, moved very fast, like stabbed with its appendages.
And as they describe this, I still have the silent image up.
Oh,
kind
she's
of
been studying it this whole
Yeah.
illustrating every move.
All right. I think I've got a lot of work to do.
Right.
I gotta pay you all.
Did
Oh,
raise the
right.
money. We did working.
It was the so the 2 bodies of the creatures.
Right.
You said 15 of those spines.
Yeah, we found a lot.
Now, a question: is that including the one that you kicked?
Yes. If
Which
I
we
could
should
still
keep.
keep one, that would be lovely.
Would you be at all interested in doing it the way that we're gonna do one of these? I'll hold on to it here, just to
Yeah.
keep it out
Sure.
from out
yeah,
there.
no, I don't really
You
want
worried
to
about
carry
Icon?
it around now.
I'm not worried about that, but now that you say that, should I be?
No.
I probably wouldn't
Yeah.
do
Probably.
So,
that.
was
I
that
probably wouldn't either.
It was
15 plus that one for the 16, or?
it was 15 total with
Alright.
the one that I had before.
So I've got 6 gold for the 2 of them. It was 3 gold apiece, right? And then I offered, it was a silver for each of the spines.
Yep.
Right.
So that'll be 15 silver. So we'll call that 3 gold. No, 7 gold. 7 gold, 5 silver. You brought me back something I wasn't expecting. I told you I could do 10. You did pay me for the potions, which I know you didn't end up using, but it gives me a little more to get back to you. I could give you, call it 12.
Oh, great.
That's very generous of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
If we do need to send one of these specimens back, well, I don't want to owe you anything, so
Yeah.
Well, if we're sending it to somebody, then chance they'd be owing me.
that is true. And
I'd rather take
Certainly
money from
we'd have
somebody else than from you,
they
right?
more resource.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right.
This is a weird request. I really want to know what these look like cut open. I know that's
Oh no, I want
Weird.
to see what's on the inside.
Same.
Me too.
Well, I'm about to get started to work if you want to.
Let's do it.
Do you mind?
If you're squeamish, there's the door, and
Not
let's.
one
And
bit.
she
No.
rolls up her
I
sleeves
mean,
and
yes, but no.
pulls up the face mask, and from her pocket pulls out very quickly a scalpel. Let's do this. During this time,
I knew it. I knew something was gonna
Aaron,
happen.
Yeah.
what would you like to have been doing?
I would like to kind of meander through the streets.
Absolutely.
Get a sense of the day. Kind of keep my ear to the hubbub of the crowd as people walk up the streets. Maybe meander through the market. See. Spend probably, I don't know, just 10 minutes observing the people making their purchases. If there's anybody, particularly looking for anybody. Anybody looking or asking about? I'm trying to observe if anybody is looking for the mill. Sorry, Plaverton. There it is. Yeah, Plaverton Mill. If there's any sailors or dockhands who are like, on a lunch stop and they happen to bring that up in conversation, I want to kind of eavesdrop a little bit for that.
Sure. So, there's a few places that you think you might be able to pick this up. Obviously, there's the Lost Cask, where could be the that seems to be where most of the workers are. There are the docks in the Northern District themselves. There are the warehouses that, as you had identified, had a large P engraved onto it. But there would also then be the small mill at the docks. Is there any place of those that you're thinking you'd mostly like to head towards?
Probably. Again, the layout of this city isn't exactly concrete in my mind. If I could make it to the Plaverton Mill warehouses that I had previously clocked, I'd like to head in that direction.
Everything that of interest for you at the moment is going to be in the Northern Docks District, in the same area where you just dropped or docked in from the ship.
Yeah. Okay. So I like to kind of head, making a specific point to take random left turns, double back.
Sure. Give me a stealth check.
Sure.
We all right over here?
I missed something.
Something happened.
I'm great. I'm good.
Nothing like a live autopsy. For
Yeah, this is
good laugh.
Duathi just losing her shit over this body that's being cut open.
Finally had the mental break.
It's like, I'm so happy right now.
There was a large P carved into a building.
No, Emmy is 12.
Please do important things.
For stealth, that's great. That is a 22.
22. All right.
So stealthy.
So stealthy.
You are not only adept at getting lost in a crowd, which you initially find yourself in at the open market, which isn't massively busy, but large enough that you know that you could have easily vanished within. You are also very adept at sneaking your way through the alleys and offshoots of any town. And in doing so, you are very confident in, should you have had any tail or anyone trying to keep an eye on you, that as you cross the bridge into the northern district, you do so unwatched.
Awesome. As we approach, as I approach the mill, I'd like to find like the briefest of moments that I'm confident no one's looking at me.
Sure.
And I want to cast Disguise Self.
All right.
I want to make myself look like a black-scaled dragonborn with dock workers garb.
Okay.
And
Now, are you wanting to blend in?
Yeah, I want to try and make myself look like this outward region of the world.
I will let you know, other than Andy, you have yet to see another Dragonborn here at these docks.
Okay.
Most of River's Meat seems to be comprised of, you've seen humans, the occasional dwarf, though not many. At the docks, you see a lot of humans, a couple of half-orcs, and half-elves.
Okay.
That is the primary
Gotcha.
assortment of workers up there.
Okay. Would you like me to change that?
Absolutely. This is why I brought it up.
Yeah. Okay, then I will.
You want people to stare at you?
We know what that's like.
Good point. Good point. Thank you very much. Okay, I will then just make myself into a kind of a mundane half-elf, kind of like a pulled-back ponytail of jet black hair, kind of a salt and pepper beard, and just simple traveler's clothes.
Sure.
Somebody mundane. And I just want to just kind of peek at the workings of the mill in its current state. Like, I want to get an overview of, like, is it busy? Is there like anybody that seems to be like running the show?
Sure.
I want to spend like maybe 30 minutes doing that.
Absolutely. For the course of this whole bit, actually, no need for a roll for any of this.
Okay.
Looking out over this, you do very familiarly see Marius,
Okay.
and he doesn't seem to be in control of one thing in particular, but more so moving about from place to place, checking in on things. But as you follow the familiar face, you see that he goes towards the folks working on the Fairbanks and getting it fixed back up. He's checking in, and you can see the large, somewhat rotund human. He seems to have a lot of soot on his face, or dirt, you weren't sure, but very short, sandy blonde hair, and he seems to be overseeing how everything is going in the fixing of the boat. Following after Marius has talked over there, Marius heads back over towards the mill itself, and looking in, you can see a lot of workers. It seems they're doing a lot of refining of the raw wood into planks, into construction material, and you're actually seeing a fair funneling of material going from the mill straight to the repair of the ship.
Okay.
Additionally, you do see finally a fully loaded cart of lumber that is being carted from the mill over to one of the warehouses and is being taken inside.
Okay. Can I kind of trail along to that with that cart a little bit? Kind of just kite it
Sure.
from block to block?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. It's not a very long trip, and the cart, the person seems to be taking. He's taken the horse by the bridle and pulling it along, walking right on over towards the warehouse. It is one of the first and the largest one on the corner there, with the large engraved letter in it.
Okay.
And gates opening. You can see it seems to be mostly a storehouse for pre-constructed materials, and they're offloading into there. You can see planks, you can see beams, looks like some barrels that have been made.
Is it a multi-story affair in the Piraton Mills?
It looks 2 stories tall, and peering inside, you can see sort of half-story interior walls. The interior seems mostly actually to be made out of stone, whereas the exterior, largely a wooden exterior. It looks like inside is a stone construction.
Okay.
But
What kind of...
in the far back, you can see a second story, 60 feet of dark vision.
Yeah.
You can. It's also pretty light in there. You can see a second story that has almost like a walking balcony area.
I'll just kind of inch closer to like the open doorway and just kind of like really like stare in there, almost tourist-like, and just kind of take it all in. How many people would you say are working right now?
Inside the warehouse?
Yeah.
Or inside, you see the gentleman who was now had brought the cart in. Seems to be him and 2 others that are offloading the planks. So you've got the 3 in there. Looking in the back, you see 1 other. So inside this warehouse at this given time, about 4 folks.
Okay. Just trying to get a sense of the business scale. Like,
Yeah.
is this like a bustling like hub or establishment, or is this lesser so? So thank you for that. Okay. I'll just kind of observe all that, lock it in, and then the remainder of the hour that I had set aside for this, I'll start walking back to Dr. Sadas, but I want to stop by my house on the way back.
Cool.
And I want to, in a very quick way, I'll get back, I'll head inside, pull out a piece of paper, and just very briefly jot down a note in Thieves' Cant. And then I want to find a cupboard in the kitchen that I'm guessing is there. And I want to try and hide this letter in the cupboard.
Sure. You're able to jot down the message that you want to inscribe. You're welcome to text that over to me if you'd like.
Will do.
And as you go into the kitchen, you find your favorite cupboard. It's a very small little kitchenette area for someone who lives in though you are elegant in your presentation, your housing here is simple, but it is very elegant for what it is. And inside this kitchenette, there are a couple cabinets with your dishware, but this one is your favorite because of the small false bottom in it. As you press your hand on it, it opens up, and you slide your letter in and close it.
I'll lock the door and leave. Head back to Dr. Sadas.
As we approach, heading back to Dr. Sada's, mid-dissection of this creature, Dr. Sada has been narrating as she goes, partially coherently, partially muttering to herself, almost forgetting that there is an audience.
Sounds about right.
And she has started on the underside and opened it up and has been rooting around and is beginning to detach some of the metallic pieces, and you can see that it is taking effort to remove them. And you actually recall back to the removal of the smaller of the 2. It wasn't the easiest task. This is going to be, there's a lot here. She takes a break to look up at you all. Hands coated in fluids from within the creature, and
There are fluids.
Do any of the inner workings look like anything that I would recognize as an organic creature? Anything like, can I tell it's liver? It's anything like that?
Maybe a medicine check.
Got it.
As you look over, we're gonna do this at disadvantage because you are peering over Dr. Sada from a distance and not getting in hands-on.
That would be great. Okay. Oh, that one is higher. Okay, that is a soft 20.
Soft 20. all of the interior of this creature, it looks. You recognize a stomach.
Okay.
You recognize intestines. You see heart.
Huh. I would not have guessed that I would recognize from this distance so many recognizable organs.
Where does the unrecognizable bits start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Good question.
I was gonna say, is there anything mechanical that I recognize?
give me a medicine check.
Okay.
However, with your knowledge of, let's see here. I will let this be. Are you proficient in medicine?
No.
No. Okay. In that case, let's have this be an intelligence check. So it's essentially an intelligence-based medicine check.
Cool. Let's do this one. Cool. That is 8.
An 8. Inside of this creature it is squishy. It is wet.
Cool. Great.
It is.
We
It does not
tried.
appear to be mechanical inside.
Okay.
So,
Are you going to be at this for a while?
yes, definitely. I know you all wanted to watch. Here you are. How long were you all thinking of staying?
I think this is probably about the amount of information that I needed at this time. I imagine you could tell us more about if you find anything particularly, but
Yeah.
that is, I got sort of the answer that I needed, which is,
Yeah.
was it kind of weird on the inside? And I was kind of expecting yes, but the answer is no, which somehow I don't like. That's worse.
Well, it's still weird.
Well, it's all weird, but I was sort of expecting, like, you know, oh, it does not have any internal organs, or it has like half of them or something. Not. I
I'm
recognize
concerned
all
that
of
it
them.
does have organs.
I'm concerned that all the information we have gained since we've gotten here is only confirmed
Only
theories
makes it
I very
weirder.
much wish are
Yeah.
not true. So
Cool. Yeah, you keep doing that if you don't mind leaving the other one intact.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And question for you all. Yeah, I feel as though we've had a good conversation about your experience with it. Is, if there's anything that y'all think you might be forgetting, always come tell me. I am imagining, one way or another, I'm imagining I'll need to get back to at least you on this. I'll be in touch.
Okay.
You're still staying where you're staying, right?
If that
Alright,
changes, we will let you know.
A night's rest.
are you sure you don't need an extra set of hands plus a third?
When it comes to this, I like working alone.
Got that.
I would appreciate, yes, but in this initial sense of discovery, I like for this to be. I like to be able to wander without bumping into people.
Of course.
Well, like I said, I have my theories, but I don't want to taint any of your own discoveries, so I will
I also appreciate that.
hold those for myself until you've done your duty.
I would also appreciate it if you all would probably keep this to ourselves.
Oh
That
yeah.
does
Don't-
seem like
yes.
something we should do.
Look, yeah, we're happy to keep it in the group.
And if I know Captain Fury probably knows about the spines. Did we bring that up with? I mean, the thing out there happened.
Yeah,
She
I mean,
knows
she
it
was
all.
the one who brought us to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's.
Again, we don't need to go around spreading misinformation,
No.
especially if
The
Yeah.
only. See, this is a weird thing to say out loud. Even though we came from the Order, or were sent by the Order,
on behalf of
on behalf
Perhaps.
of the Order.
I don't like that stuff, but
Look, we're independent contractors. Anyway, we don't necessarily have an easy way to reach them or get back to them. So
Right.
if you know, we were gonna talk to Captain Fieri about it, but if you would like to keep it more secret, if
Let's keep it under wraps.
Cool.
We could also talk to the captain and see if she knows a way that we could get in touch that does not involve
Sure.
her direct involvement.
Sure.
we'll
If
see
that
what we
seems
can
to make
figure out.
sense.
We'll
But
keep
if
this
you-
under wraps for
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Can we stop by tomorrow?
Please, actually, yes.
All right.
Do you mind if I just look at the body real quick
Uh,
and touch the body? I don't want to contaminate. I'm clean.
oh, you want to? What do you want to? Which part do you want to touch? The middle? The
Both. I want to touch the metal and the organic bits.
All right. From you can. There's a. You can
I'll-
wash up and sanitize. Actually, tell you what. There's a small rod in my top pocket there. Would you mind?
Yes.
And then just in the taste.
Oh, is there an angle?
Sideways.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. And she holds onto it and she taps her hand and it instantly cleans.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Now give me. I can't. Hands and bit, and you can feel as if a quick, like you dunked your hands into a thick liquid, and then it goes up to the wrist and then back down, and your hands are completely clean.
Is this, do I get a sense this is similar to the way I can,
Give me an arcane check.
yeah. That's a 23.
Yeah, it has 100% of prestidigitation that just popped out of that rod.
That
Pretty cool.
is
Yeah.
neat. Wow. Cool. And I just want to go up to the body and find a place where the metal joins in. So not the spine, but like where flesh meets metal. And put one hand, if it's open, basically like in the cavity, and the other hand on the metal, and just close my eyes and reach out and try to listen for differences in the material, like trying to connect with the natural energy
Gotcha.
and bounce like my own
Chakra.
divine energy
Okay.
to it and see what I receive back.
Are you using anything in particular to do this?
I kinda, yeah. I wanted to kind of either pump in like a lay on hands or a cure wounds to just kind of like see what reflects back, if anything does reflect back.
Okay. Your call
So-
as to which one you'd like.
I wanna do lay on hands.
Okay.
I think that's the most
Mm.
apt for this point.
How much are you pumping in?
I'll do 5.
Okay. And is
just
it?
like the bare minimum.
Are you doing it to heal or are you doing it to remove something?
Trying to make it diagnostic. So I don't know what you would call if that's a to heal or to
I think it depends on.
not to
Are you-
heal.
Usually some experimentation.
Yeah,
So you might have,
yeah.
you
I
might have
think I
do
want to try
drugs.
the thing that I did to Finn, the neutralizing
Okay.
thing, just in that local area.
So as you take your connection to the natural world, you feel through the leather of your boots, through the wood of the floor, you feel the dirt beneath, and you feel the roots within there, and you feel that ultimate connection that you have with the earth. You feel all of that energy pass into your fingertips. You go towards this creature. You feel the energy leave you as you always feel the energy leave you. But you don't see any change or anything happen.
Okay. Do I sense any difference on the organic side versus the metal side?
No.
All right.
It was a little gross. Was it at least interesting?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Like nothing happened, but
Oh, here, and I've got you. Boop.
oh God.
I'll get the nose, mouth. Oof. How's it taste? Actually, how does it taste?
About this time,
How does
Aaron
it
walks
taste?
in.
Yeah, I'm like, I can kind of goes from I just like from. You want me to just.
It is slimy and it is sour. Yeah, it is nasty.
Are we making progress, friends?
Quite.
Maybe
Yeah,
you
a
should
lot
finish his face now.
All right, and she taps both hands and your face and completely cleans you up.
Thank you.
There's a
is-
long way to go.
It has organs.
All of them.
Brilliant. I shall wait out here.
Well, we were actually about
We
to.
are-
Yeah.
We'll join
but
you.
with
We're
our
all
so-
gonna
um,
leave.
Zelda's got a lot of work ahead, and I think we just kind of get in the way.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah,
I do have
I'll-
one question
yeah.
before we go. Is your optometrist local, or...
I do this work myself.
Well, all right. When you're not so busy, maybe we can talk.
Sure.
Do you know how to make those?
I'll be in touch,
I don't know.
and you'll be in touch. I guess same ways
Yeah,
before.
bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Doctor?
Doctor? And with that, you leave Dr. Sada's house, back out to the cart with Chauncey, now empty.
Yeah, what time is it at this
It
point?
is fairly late in the afternoon, having spent most of the day resting, and now working with the travel across the river and this couple additional hours.
So Brody's place might still be open?
May still be open.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out a piece of bread and a chunk of meat and start chowing down.
You don't want the forever stew.
Oh, I would eat forever
Yeah.
stew too.
could
Though. I
go
could go eat some forever
Get some
stew.
stew. I think I should return this cart real
Right.
quick, and
Right.
then we can go
Cart
get
and
some
then
food.
stew? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do the cart really quickly.
So we'll start walking over
Take a
there.
meander on over. You find your way back to that large two-story building with a sign out front, Brody's Wares.
Yeah, I guess we'll leave the cart outside for now. Don't want to just traipse it through the store.
Carts do not go inside buildings
yeah.
either.
But I've I'll take the rope pulley harness contraption off of Chauncey.
And I'll kind of give it a once-over prestidigitation and get rid of any mud or muck.
Get it ready for that second-hand
We
inspection.
Get our
Right.
bedroll as well.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
everything gets out
right.
of there, and I'll go in.
All right, there's the ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Brody is exactly where he was the first time you met, leaning back in the chair. Welcome to Brody's Wares. Let me know if you need anything. Happy to help. Oh, hi.
Hi, hello.
Welcome back. How
thank
was
you.
how was everything?
Eventful, to
Good
say
eventful,
the least.
bad eventful.
All of the above.
Cool. Did you get
to
the
be-
cart?
Yes.
Good eventful. I like
So it's outside.
Excellent.
It was rather broken.
Not
I
excellent.
did what I could with the materials that I had.
it. Okay.
I am happy to fix it with better materials now that we are back, but since we were in the middle of nowhere, I just used what we had.
I'm thinking I should probably go take a look at the
Yeah, so
state of
let's
this.
go
yeah. all
take
right.
a look.
Let's take a look at this thing, see what did. Oh, and as he steps outside, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting a lot worse.
Yeah, not
And this is
bad.
after a full night of travel with a heavy load in the back.
Oh, so it's okay. So it's functioning good.
Seems to be.
Yeah. I mean, probably gonna have to get it repaired. So I'm willing to do, you know, same deal I offered you before, kind of the finder's fee of half the price of a new cart. If you're willing to put in some extra work for it, I could probably throw in some. Probably throw a couple of silver at it for fixing it.
Sure. How long does it seem like it would maybe take with the proper tools
With
and
everything that you
materials
had
this time?
done, honestly, with the work that you put into it, it would just be a matter of replacing minor components. You could probably
Okay.
get it done within an hour.
Okay. Cool. Can I come back tomorrow, maybe?
Sure.
Cool.
All right.
Or I can stay here and
I mean,
meet
we're
you
going to be
guys?
doing a bunch of errands tomorrow anyway because
Yeah,
we need to go
let's-
meet the
let's
doctor
do it
Sada, so if we want to
tomorrow.
go-
So-
I'll be back.
Excellent. Do you want to be paid all up front? Do you want to be like try I pay you for this now, or do you?
It's fine. I'll
Cool.
come
Yeah,
back.
you know where to find me. I'm
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Great.
Well,
Nice doing business with you.
you as well. And I'm gonna go back inside.
Cool.
Enjoy.
And as he goes back, he's like, "Never thought I'd see that card again. This is fantastic."
Cool.
I think
When
he likes you, Andy.
well, I fixed his stuff.
Maybe he just
Um,
likes his stuff.
I think he likes his stuff.
But
You're
you fixed
also
his
very
stuff.
cool though, Andy.
Well, yes.
Thank you. I blush a little bit, if it's possible to blush.
Couple shades of purple. And
Yeah.
flicker.
Can I insight check that last little comment?
Never thought I'd see it again.
Never thought I'd see that card again. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Brody gives me like the sketchiest vibe, and maybe that's just me
Aaron's
reading
hot
into
take.
it.
I would,
Yeah.
yeah.
Personality.
Yeah, I just want to insight that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
but I'd love.
Insightful moments with Aaron.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah.
That is an 18.
18. Seemed from the tone of voice, you're used to listening to, and picking up on inflections. Genuinely baffled and amazed.
Sure. Okay.
And I intend to talk to him more tomorrow about who had the cart, what was happening, all that stuff. Get a little bit more insight, maybe?
I mean, it was a cart.
Or maybe one of you could talk to him while I'm fixing the cart.
I mean, the cart was meant to go back to Upstrom,
Yeah.
being helmed by Palin.
Yeah.
Well, and this seems like the kind of place where something goes missing in the wild, it doesn't come back on its own, so...
Yeah. So, okay. Well, let's go get some food.
Yeah, I think we probably have a lot to talk about before we call it.
Right.
Okay. I mean, mostly it's what do we do now? Because I mean, do you want to keep doing
Walking, talking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
For the
want
night's
to
rest.
keep stay and keep to go get to these boxes? Do we want to go back to Upstrom? What do you want to do, Aiken?
I mean, I'm up for anything, really, but
Okay.
I also know, like, I've kind of just strung you along here.
I have nothing else to do.
I've just been wandering for a long time, and I just kind of continue to wander.
Well, we have to discuss still, but I have a sense what our next step is, and,
Yeah.
well, wouldn't complain about you stepping alongside if
Yeah.
you're looking for a place to go. Same goes for you, Aaron. I don't...
Oh, I am hitched at your hip.
Good. Good.
I suppose you want to figure out because you were the one who brought up about the carts, the crates having something bad in them. You want to
Yes,
see what's in them, right?
In all my years, I never expected to come to a town this far away from Melos Machina and find it so much more intriguing.
How you know you told us that you heard that there was something kind of scary in the crates. How did you know that there was something scary in the crates?
Open my spellbook and flip to the back where clipped into it is a burned piece of parchment.
That's right.
Yeah, and only the bottom half
Only
is
the
really
bottom
left.
remains. Okay.
Right. I mean, this is the best clue we have so far, and
Okay.
well, Aaron, perhaps at some point you can tell us a little bit more what led you onto Silas's trail, but this is where the trail stopped, and it implicates the ship. and it implicates something on that ship that is still missing. And now we have a task to find the missing things from the ship. So it seems like the proper trail to follow.
Well, and a ship that was attacked by these creatures.
Yeah,
Again,
so it seems.
correlation is not causation, but it's becoming more and more likely that this might be intertwined somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's life, I suppose.
And
Yes.
yeah, and you were concerned because it's bad.
Yes, I have a knack for picking up things when they go awry.
Okay.
And that
This seemed rather dire.
Maybe we should have Forever Stew brought up to our rooms.
probably.
Sure.
Yeah, so we can talk.
And also be comfy.
Also,
That
be
too.
Sure.
It is a short walk at this point, and you now find yourselves at the front of the Night's Rest.
We have to get rooms again, don't we?
Oh, that's right. We said we were not going to for a while.
So,
So the Dr. Sada paid us 12 gold.
yes.
Are we
Total.
going to split
Total.
it?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
we going to split it?
Yeah.
We have funds now. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Some, right?
I have many times the amount of funds.
You have no idea how many coppers you could get with that.
So,
It is 200 a gold, right? No, 20. No,
It's,
you told me. I forgot.
You'd get 120 silvers,
Uh-huh.
and then you break those down into coppers, and you have 1,200 coppers.
I only have 1 copper.
Right.
That's
Think
so many more.
How many street corners that you could leave coppers on for others to find?
How many sweet rolls you could eat?
yeah.
So many.
That's probably better use. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I should probably put the copper back on the street a little bit so someone else could find it.
That
but
is
also,
your
it's
first
mine. I know,
copper.
it's my
I
copper.
forget, do we remember how much rooms were?
Not
We can go ask
that
them.
Yeah,
expensive.
let's go
yeah.
ask.
No, they weren't.
I want them.
As you walk in, it is a quieter night. A couple of people sitting and enjoying a drink at one of the tables. But a familiar gnome looks up at you from the counter. Hello, welcome into the night. Oh, hello to all of you. How's it going?
Oh,
Welcome back. I didn't expect to see you all.
What is
Well-
that? Is it because we look like we don't belong out here?
Well, no, it's because we cleaned up your rooms.
It's just
Yeah.
because we
Did.
said goodbye.
well,
I thought that was like an underhanded insult.
no.
Sorry, that's
no,
that he would do
he's
that?
No, an
Very
underhanded
nice.
insult is using the word under with me.
just that is not
Got
my.
it.
All right.
What can I do for you all?
Oh boy.
we love rooms again.
Fantastic.
I think
the same too. They're
I was
so.
gonna say, yeah. Did you guys? You still
we-
wanted to share one?
I don't
was it
mind.
separate? I forget
So-
if we had separate for you.
We did. So if we could
for
do
them.
4.
Oh, I won't be needing accommodations tonight.
Oh,
Right,
right.
so it's the 3 of
so
them.
3.
You've
Excellent.
never invited us over to your place.
That is
That's right, you
True.
live here. No, your friend lives here. And you're staying with your friend.
Anyway,
Let's
we'll
arrange your
talk about that
accommodations and
later.
we can.
Andy,
So
if-
3.
If you
3,
wanna
that'll be,
share,
That's
all right.
very sweet. But you have your morning routine, and I want to give you your privacy.
Fair.
That'll be 15 silver then.
great.
Okay.
So-
I'll use some of the money that Dr. Sada
Did you put that all in your?
gave us. I did not, but
Okay.
I
If you
have it.
want
It
to
was
for
12
now,
gold,
I
and then we can
trust you,
figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
Do that for now. That way we don't lose track.
So we got.
Banking.
Yeah.
the hardest part of D&D.
My fantasy.
God, I'm like,
No.
money?
Yeah, but
You keeping
listen
track
to
of how
my
much it
fantasy
weighs?
game.
Oh my god. Encumbrance now.
Please, no.
All right, so I can get those rooms set up for you. Can I get you anything else tonight? Or?
Yeah,
Forever Stu.
yeah,
Oh,
we'd love
for-
to get some food and drinks up to our rooms. if
I can
that's
do that.
possible. Cool.
Yeah, and maybe some hot water. Just hot water for tea.
That's right. I can make us some tea.
I can do that as well. The hot water, that's on the house.
Oh,
The
thank
Forever
you.
Stews. You are all so easy to please. I love this.
I know, it's very nice.
Yes.
It's very kind of
We
you.
literally just came from Upstrom and have had a very provincial time there, and so any kindness is just wonderful.
Oh, I will log that away. People in Upstrom, not nice.
No, they're great too. No, just some of the other folks here are not as nice as Upstrom, but you take the cake.
I see. Nice in Upstrom, really shitty here, but I'm not.
Let's go with
No.
that.
Okay.
That's simplified, but yes.
Yeah.
You're all also just fun to talk
Butter
to.
him up, Aiken.
Uh,
Just butter him up.
Okay.
So
it's-
how many forever stews am I doing?
Oh,
I yeah.
All right, one,
I'll try. yeah.
two. All right. I remember you had the fish last time. We do have a nice a nice deer steak.
Oh. Well, you want to maybe
No, I
split
want
some?
stew. Sure. If you,
Right.
I'll get to stew and you get the steak and we can split.
All right. Yes,
Okay.
Let's do.
Feel like an old married couple.
I was gonna say it's the couple special. So that'll actually all of you coming out to that, that'll be another 15 silver. That works out actually
Okay,
really well.
great. So 30
Exactly.
So 3 gold?
3 gold.
Great. I'll
I'm
give
figuring
you
it out.
I knew you would.
I know.
math. Not my strong suit. Yes, three gold. Hand it over.
Well, thank you very much, and I will. The rooms are all set. Honestly, it's the same ones. The doors are unlocked. I think you know your way. I'll be up there in a bit with some food.
Yes,
You
thank
can
you.
bring it to our room. We'll be there.
Yeah.
Just the one room. Ah, it's a party.
Yeah.
All right. Quiet hours are after 10 p.m. So yeah, just you know,
Great.
It's a cozy
you're fine.
party.
Yeah, you're all lovely people.
Just
Have a great night.
decompressing.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm going to make such good tea.
I'm very excited for the tea.
I haven't had tea since we left. When we had tea that one morning. Yeah, that was really good.
I think this will be better.
Better tea.
Yeah. Freshly sourced ingredients.
Always better.
All right. So you're all heading up to your room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Door closes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out my bedroll and like snuggle up on my bed in the bedroll, kind of pajama party style.
Yeah. Also, question: does Chauncey get health back after a long rest as well?
Chauncey heals with you. Yes.
Okay, cool. But because he was working all night while I was sleeping.
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet baby.
It's all right. He
okay,
got he got the long rest with everyone else the next day.
Right. Forgot about
Yeah.
that. Okay, cool. Cool.
Um,
Thank you.
although honestly, Chauncey does not need sleep.
Right.
needs
I was
rest,
just thinking
yeah.
for
It's just, like,
healing because he took
recharging.
some damage. Okay.
All right. So all of you in the same room.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. I am filled with so many questions.
Yep.
Me too.
And terror and excitement and terror.
I have a system for, well, organizing the questions, and sometimes that staves off the terror. I don't have an answer for terror. We could put our heads together and maybe we'll come to answers I couldn't find alone.
Yeah. We're gonna have to come at this like a multi-pronged approach.
Right. So what's the
Start at the beginning, Aiken.
Mostly, I kind of want to start at the end. I'm concerned that there were fleshy organs inside this creature. It looks like anything that I would have hunted and cut open. But the exterior is unlike anything.
I pull the quill and just write on the wallpaper, write flesh and metal. Real big.
On our wall.
Don't
okay.
worry, it comes right off.
Okay.
All right, let's leave that for now. What other questions? Big topics.
Well, my big question is, so you all were familiar with the Fairbanks before it crashed, but the trajectory, Marius was saying, would not have been normal.
Right.
And the boat had a giant hole in the side, spikes or quills sticking out of it, and creepy, bulbous, undead creatures coming from the water and from the boat. And it's all connected somehow, and yet potentially not at all.
All right.
I'm not sure that was a question.
And then
With
there's
lots of
also-
room around the first topic, I write Fairbanks? Question mark.
And then there's the crates. The crates that have the automaton contraband.
From Fairbanks, I draw long line, red line, and missing cargo.
And then there's also that this cargo might belong to the overseer.
At least it was headed towards.
Yeah, that's
The
Yeah,
what
it's
Overseer.
either headed to or belongs to. No,
Mhm.
is the overseer a nice person?
we don't know.
From what I can ascertain, they are neither too public nor incredibly private. They seem to be personable with those who matter, yet keep a respectable anonymity
Okay.
among the common folk here. They don't make the rounds through the town. They're not personable with the waitstaff here. However, from my experience growing up, that is incredibly common for persons with certain power or political poise in a town to distance themselves from those whom they govern.
That is
So,
true.
Alright.
You're not personally familiar with this.
No,
Cassivan.
I've never met them. I have no idea what they look like. I know them only by name and as in their position.
I'd like to think back to growing up. Does Cassivan ring a bell at all as a family name or as any kind of reputation?
Most of your political knowledge was from within the city, and as far as outskirts go, you have a general idea of hierarchy, but no knowledge of people.
All right.
It's about at this point.
Oh, sorry.
Room service!
Oh, and I just wave the my quill over all the writing, and it
Oh, you just
vanishes.
mage hand to open the door from across the room.
Whoa.
Hello.
Hello!
That was quick.
That forever stew is always on the pot, and hot water. We were waiting on water to
true.
boil,
Yeah.
so this is you
Great.
picked the best. Enjoy, and he offers up a massive tray. This is for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you need anything else, we'll be downstairs.
All right.
You're awesome.
You're a fine fella.
Thank you.
I'm going to take the leaves of the plants that I got. I'm going to take the chamomile and the peppermint. And I don't know, based on the smell, I have a feeling that the sweet grass would smell kind of oniony. I don't think that would be better in the stew than it would be
No.
in the tea.
Taking a whiff of it, the sweetgrass actually smells of vanilla.
Oh, vanilla! I wrote down oniony. for
It
some
has an
reason.
onion-like look.
Onion-like look.
The leaves do.
Okay. Got it. Well, in that case, I'm going to chop it all up and start brewing some tea.
Okay.
I'll kind of just sit next to you, helping like pluck leaves off as you're chopping the others.
And it was just mint, not peppermint.
Ah, okay.
Wild.
Yes.
What are we gonna get?
I don't know, roll on the surge table.
Oh boy.
Which character? Who dis?
As soon as he's gone and the tea's brewed, I'll give it some time in case he comes back.
There's a long wait
That,
while
like,
the tea is
awkward.
brewing. No returning of Davern.
Right. Now these questions were ones I've already been working on. So
Yeah.
this time, as I rewrite the three big topics, the ink just kind of spills from the quill tip and just kind of keeps going out, webbing the web of information I've been slowly building. Now, Overseer, that is new. Perhaps we start there.
I mean, do we want to know if the overseer? I guess what I'm trying to figure out is how we figure out if the overseer was waiting for these items and like wanted them specifically, even though it is bad, and they knew it was bad, Or if someone was sending it to them, and I have no idea how to figure that out. I don't know if
Well,
we tried to figure that out before we go and
it's-
try to get the faxes.
I guess my inkling is that he's willing to pay us to go find these. So there seems to me to be some perceived value in these.
However, I don't believe the contents of these crates is in any way illicit, because he would not so immediately offer retrieval from someone new to the
That's
town
true.
as the five of us.
That is also my concern, is if it is not contraband, then... Well, it could also not be contraband because he just sent people he does not know to go pick them up. But also, what if he does not know what is in these crates other than it is valuable?
Because I don't think Marius knows the contents of every single, or the exact contents.
What
No.
also if the overseer does not know
That's
what
the
exactly
question.
is in these crates other than it is value?
As of now, I think we have no reason to suspect Marius in particular of
Not
any
particularly.
foul play. Now,
I think Marius is just trying to do his job. You know,
Yeah.
track down missing cargo and pay us to go get it.
Were we told to not open the crates?
There was no mention of secrecy.
No.
However,
Okay.
the moral implications of what you're suggesting, Dorothy, do make me question
Well,
some things.
alternatively, if we are looking to see if something is contraband, we would need to look inside, right?
right?
Yeah.
There are magical ways of keeping things concealed and or locked. Also, it could be something that doesn't look like contraband, because the one thing we know for sure is, well, maybe we don't know this either, but the overseer doesn't know that we are looking for contraband
Right.
necessarily, so
No.
him hiring us could be a happy accident on our part.
Well, it sounds like Marius is hiring us,
Right.
not necessarily the overseer himself.
That's a good point.
So, we're subcontractors again. The thing about us being new to the town, we're expendable.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Is it
The biggest thing bothering
dangerous?
well,
We'd have to go past or into the prowling.
And we have no
those are-
clue how far downrivers these chests might have flown. It is an incredibly powerful body of water. I cannot imagine how to begin this search.
I mean, how far did you come down the river?
Marius mentioned using one of the breathers in our search for this, so
Well, if
perhaps it's a wild goose chase, but somebody might have to trance along the bottom of the river for an extended period of time, looking for these chests with their eyes.
That
All right,
I am
let's-
interested in.
let's take a step back, because we haven't decided for sure that, well, I have suspicions that it's not in the river at all. What if the whole incident with the Fairbanks was just a distraction for somebody to sneak on and off the boat?
That is a very loud distraction.
Because again, the only things missing were the ones deemed valuable. And out here, I know it is removed, it is hard to get creature comforts, but what could be worth that much that's not just replaceable? Order new ones from the city.
But
I mean-
also, if what's in the crates is what you're after,
That's
the
exactly
Order is
it.
interested in this. So other people, I'm assuming, would be interested.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think we can reasonably assume, and I write under the Overseer and under the Fairbanks and under, oh gosh, what was the other topic? Anyway, I draw all the lines to connect. Oh, the missing cargo, right? I draw them all to connect and put a big old question mark right where all those webs intersect. I
get-
don't know what this is, who ordered it, where it's going, who has it now, but I do know that this is the question.
I guess it is, do we try to figure out these answers before we try to go get these crates, or after?
I like to proceed with a hypothesis. So I start with what I know, all the facts, what I can confirm with my own experience or eyes, and then from that draw a series of possibilities. I think that's worth doing before we head out. But the thing about a hypothesis is it can't be proven without experimentation, study, research.
Right. I mean, this is going to be one of those situations where we continue to find information before, during, and after. You haven't mentioned much about the night that you guys got that piece of paper from initially. That mentions Silas and the Fairbanks, right?
Yeah.
Who is this Silas?
We don't really know.
He owned a warehouse
yeah.
here on the dockside of Melos Machina, and it was my initial thread that I followed that led me in hearing about this contraband to his warehouse. We followed him into his warehouse one night, and
Well, we followed him to it.
followed him to the warehouse. He went inside, and in discussing how to proceed, heard an incredibly loud explosion from beneath the floor of his warehouse.
Did he come out?
Nope.
Oh, so he
We-
could be dead.
Under the premise
Well-
of investigation on behalf of the Order, we entered the premises to inquire about his safety and found a subterranean laboratory, almost, or workspace
something
beneath his
storage.
warehouse, and not a sign of
Hidden
We-
well, by the way.
not a sign of Silas.
We saw the signs of the explosion and found the piece of the letter
Some
and
scraps of fabric.
pieces of fabric.
Another hypothesis without any further proof or result, because again, no remains.
Right. No sign of Silas, but seeming that Silas may have exploded.
And the laboratory, did you have any idea what it was for? Other than-
No, it seemed more
No
like
idea.
a storage space. There were more crates.
I might be misremembering. I don't
Yeah.
know if saying the word laboratory was right.
No,
So-
I
it's
think
not-
there were.
Okay.
Remembering back, it was lots of crates,
Yeah.
armor.
Okay. I don't know why I
but
said lab. Then.
no, it's all good. you've been around one a lot today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, maybe that's it. Yeah.
Mad scientist on the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
there were lots of crates. There was one with. What was it? It was like a circular
Hole.
hole.
Straw, some kind of shipping material with an indent. The thing that made the indent, we think, is a sample of the contraband we're looking
Right,
for,
'cause
referenced
it's-
in the note.
Yeah.
Little bit of magical residue left on that packaging,
Right.
which is why we suspect as much. But again, just a suspicion. There
Then
was
a
a
suit
tunnel?
Yeah.
Right.
The suit of armor attacked us.
Right, we were attacked by animated armor and swords, not the animated automaton type, but enchanted
Yeah.
Oh.
by magic.
Yeah.
Very different than Chauncey.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seemed that they were a security measure
Right.
Right.
triggered when
We went in there.
entered. That is what started this entire inquiry off, and unless we are able to return back to Silas's now boarded up warehouse, we will not be able to pursue that line
Yeah.
of inquiry any further.
Do you need to get into the warehouse?
It wouldn't hurt.
Well,
Is it because the door is locked that you cannot get back inside?
no,
I guess what I worry about is that if it's boarded up and other people have been in there, like, it was very obvious that it was just a front kind of for the underground part. So that means that people have probably been in there to clean out what was under
Perhaps,
there.
although
But we don't know.
the explosion didn't do enough damage above ground to really warrant closing down and rebuilding a warehouse. So
If you
No.
wanted, I could get inside probably quite easily, but alternatively, I wouldn't know what I was looking for.
Precisely. I have
I mean, we don't
have
either.
you been back
Yeah.
there since?
only to observe the progression of events. It's been boarded up, according to Marius. It was on the orders of Captain Fury, presumably to ensure public safety. However, we might be too late in this
Yeah.
inquiry. I fear, I feel the same feelings as you, Andy. I do not know if there is any profit to be gained from entering that location again.
Because we looked around and
As
tried
much
to
as we
see.
could. Someone just exploded. We turned that place over.
Yeah.
And if we're in the position that it's truly just a happy accident that we were hired to find the very crates we're looking for, we probably shouldn't tip our hands by
No.
asking questions.
Is
No.
it also possible that he used that explosion to make you think he is dead?
Mm-hmm.
That was certainly a hypothesis.
Certainly.
And therefore, a few days later, could certainly crash a boat into a dock to create another distraction.
Does seem to be fitting in a
He's-
style.
Dramatic.
We are looking for somebody with a fancy cape.
With a piece missing.
Yeah, there were definitely some pieces missing.
It's again just a hunch, but I'm not convinced that Silas is the grand mastermind behind all of this.
No,
He
it
seems-
seems to be whoever L is.
L.
Because it seemingly the letter was a threat.
or a promise of
Right,
whatever.
but it,
whatever it was a promise
yeah,
of. Is
it
the
was
threat.
more or less
Yes.
there's more of this to come.
A demonstration nonetheless.
Yeah.
Now there's one more fact I think known to this group that would be helpful in this, but I can't add it to the web just yet. Aaron, that is where you came into all of this.
Mhm.
So I know you have your personal interests, but I think it behooves this experiment or hypothesis that we know how you came to be aware of Silas or the doings here or who you're working for.
Fair question. I'm working on my own behalf. I came to River's Meet to observe the people here. It was a simple, serendipitous moment that I even heard the word automaton float across the wind to my ears.
Staring
what kind
daggers
of observing?
at him with
First-
the insight.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Give that insight first, and then I'll ask my question.
Okay.
I was like, is that a spell?
Not good. Not good. Go ahead, Twati.
Okay. What were you here to observe people doing?
Living. I spent my life on my parents' estate, away from everybody else.
Oh,
And I could not stand it any longer. So I went as far from Seros Manor as I could to see how other people live.
how long have you been exploring?
Maybe a bit longer than a week.
Oh wow, that's not very long.
No, I spent 200 years living with my parents.
I was about to say it. You
200 years.
Are they're good at least, right? Are they
Sorry?
good parents?
I loved them.
are they still around?
Yes.
Oh. That's nice.
They're wonderful. They were incredibly kind to me. However,
Had to get out.
exactly, it's as well as I was brought up and cared for in my time. I had the deepest desire to leave and experience the rest of this wonderful world that we live in. I came.
What was your insight?
Only 6.
Go ahead and roll for me. Your choice.
Persuasion, deception, who's to say?
Who's to say?
Blah, blah, blah.
Uh, 15.
Erin, look, we've been acquaintanced for less than a week. I don't have a read on you yet, and I'm not one to levy accusations or draw conclusions, if that's not obvious here. But I do know that there are too many happy accidents happening in this whole going on, and if the first domino in this puzzle, sorry for the mixed metaphor, is another coincidence, well, that is just too convenient.
Can I also roll an insight check, but differently? I feel like there's a step missing in between leaving and getting here and finding out this story, and I just want to see if I'm feeling like that's correct.
Same roll for me.
That is a 25.
Ooh.
Whoa.
I should have waited on that so I could
Oh, my
decide.
apologies, my
I
apologies.
think-
I'm so sorry.
No,
PvP is hard.
it is. I will. At what point did that happen? Your insight check.
Right at the end of this. Right at the end of this story.
I will say that since you were checking at the very beginning and you were at the very end, it'll
Yeah.
be 2 different rolls.
And this is a different question, too.
Yes.
Knowing you got a 25.
I should have.
I don't know if I can beat that, so let's see what happens.
I-
13. So not a complete dunk, but
Just trying to figure out if there's a piece missing there that seems like it's being glassed over.
Is there? You don't have to say if there is. You don't have to say what it is. But is Duathi's suspicions correct?
I want to answer this as accurately as I can, given that high fucking roll.
Very insightful.
Yes, there are definitely things that are being glossed over. But this is also, you can kind of see that this is the first time Aaron's talked about his parents in front of you all.
Yeah.
So that's also giving him, like, mixed delivery. So
Okay.
it's a layered.
Lots of emotions going on.
Yeah, it's a layered
Okay.
delivery of these retelling of these events.
Good to know.
I was really hoping that after that long pause, you just say yes.
Yes.
I don't want to like just get up and whisper some stuff, but like I do want it to be. I think it's worth saying. Yeah.
I mean, to your point, Finn, yes, there's a lot of coincidences, but all of us are here now.
Yeah.
We've all come here at this moment for different reasons, and I don't think any of us are quite involved. I mean, you have direct orders,
Sure.
so we're just yokels wandering the countryside. So
I'm a yokel.
As far as we know. Just kidding. I have no reason to.
I didn't grow up on an estate or a manor.
I assume I look like a yokel.
They're all different. They all look different.
I do have my hypothesis about your past, Iken, but we can save that for another conversation.
Don't know why we're all reading into each other's pasts.
Iken is not lying to us.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just too trusting, but
No, I just think
We are not our past, but we are our actions today. And Aaron, I have no reason to doubt that you have the best intentions and that your interests very much do align, that our threads do converge here. I also understand that trust does not come easy and the dangers of oversharing. In fact, we, immediately did that here. And your business is your own, Aaron, but it's hard to trust when it feels like you don't get the whole truth.
I apologize for.
It's okay. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Allow me to admit this. My family is very well connected in Melos Machina and is very important to some of the early workings of the Order.
Oh. How old is the Order?
Very old.
very.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, my censorship of personal details implicates more than just me.
Right.
And with all due respect, I've known you for less than 72 hours.
I agree with you.
You don't need to tell me anything.
So, while as I am working to establish trust with you all and to navigate this incredibly tangled web of questions, I am constantly calculating what it means to take this information with me back home. And how this might trickle outwards, upstream, to those who are innocent and to those who are unbeknownst and uninvolved. So my trepidation comes from security.
That's all I need. I don't know about you,
Complete
but
sense to me. I'm just trying to help you all solve this mystery, and I certainly don't want to make anyone feel like they are being, pried into or anything.
no, and that wasn't my intention either, Aaron. I'm sorry that I was prying. Yes.
No, it's
It wasn't to find out your personal interest or background or anything like that. It was to understand where the guardedness was coming from. And Aaron, I'll tell you this much. I know very much how you feel about that exact scenario.
I think we all have something we want to protect.
precisely.
Not to completely change subjects, but Duathi, do you have any idea of what's happened over the last few hundred years here? Because you did not grow up where we...
No, I
grew
did
up.
not grow up. I grew up in a small village. I don't know what you're talking about.
Most of us, at least 3 of us for
Mhm.
sure, lived in Melos Machina, one of the main cities in Jaudek.
A very big city.
Very big city.
One of 3
That's right.
still standing
Still
today.
standing.
One of 3 cities. That's
Be-
so many cities.
There used to be more, right? Like, or is that kind of lost to history?
You can give me a history check if you'd like.
I would like to as well on that.
I will.
What was your question?
Ooh, that's a 6.
I did not have one.
No. So I'll say,
Mine's 11.
well, since this was an internal thought,
Yeah.
um,
Well, I had the same
So,
thought there.
Melos Machina is a city behind walls.
You said it has a big wall.
Big wall.
And you were asking me about walls. I remember that.
Yeah.
really quick to interject with the answer to your rolls.
Oh.
With the 6 and 11, you both do know that, yes, there were many old cities and populations, populous areas It was a thriving continent.
The land that we've been traveling, the land I've been traveling for the last many weeks, didn't used to be like this. It was a thriving place, and something happened long, long ago, before I was born.
By striving, do you mean like Saros Manor?
Like that, like this,
More
like
natural,
rivers meet.
lush, beautiful, vibrant with life. As far
But
as I was told.
yeah,
Same, yeah.
none of us saw it. And I didn't leave until the walls opened 50 years ago.
So you were traveling in land that is not like this?
It was early, but I don't think any of us really know what was outside the wall after that long of being inside the wall.
Oh,
And I didn't think about it till now, but these creatures that we're fighting, that we found, we don't know what's out here.
No.
wait.
You don't.
What?
You're not saying what I think you're saying.
I don't know what I'm saying, to be honest, is there's a life that existed hundreds of years ago
Right.
that no one that I've ever spoken to knows.
The contraband, some of it, well, it wasn't always illegal.
No.
Okay.
And there's a reason why the Order keeps a tight grip on things the way they stand in the cities.
Is it the reason why there's not more cities?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do your people have any myths or legends of old?
Sure. Not really though, no. Some myths and legends, but not. I don't understand. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Yeah.
But no, I don't. No.
Is there something in specific that you're referring to, Finn?
Are you all familiar? Obviously, Duatha, you might not be, but the Ashen Veil,
Yes.
right?
Just
So-
family stories.
The what?
Ashen Veil that caused everyone to go behind walls. It's really all I understood of it.
Growing up, I looked at it as just as real or not as the myths I liked reading about. I never really suspected that there could possibly be a truth behind it other than a means of control, to keep people in line and to keep
Yeah.
civilization moving in an orderly fashion.
What is it?
It's difficult to describe because the specifics are so heavily protected by the Order, as far as I understand. However,
It's less of a protected and more lost.
oh,
Mhm.
okay.
And the rumors, the myths, the legends around it are, if true, too horrifying to really contemplate fully. But like Iken said, apparently the world used to thrive. Cities everywhere. Chauncey everywhere.
That would be a sight.
Yeah.
Not specifically Chauncey, but
Chauncey's one of a kind.
other creatures like him.
Look, Chauncey came from pieces of Chauncey, so there were other Chaunceys.
Bits of metal and magic that made life easy and prosperous. As far as I know, I, again, don't know the truth from the myth or even the full story of any of it, but, well, the constructs, well, the Order blames them today for the end of civilization as the world formerly knew it.
And they caused this
I have no...
ashen
I'm not sure anybody knows.
the ashen.
Ashen Veil.
So, what I'm saying is, were these a result
Right.
of that? The cause of that?
Whew.
This is as far as I've gone.
Where would that be?
It's gone now. 50 years ago, the Order decided it was safe to open the walls, open the doors, and there were scouts beforehand. It was deemed safe for people to go out, and maybe the danger is a little bit further, but the prowling fields are considered highly dangerous. I've never been.
What do they look like?
Have I heard tales, like, from books or narratives? Like, I don't...
Prowling fields themselves?
Yeah.
It's less of a... You can tell by the look of it being a dangerous zone, more of a general outlying area of this is dangerous and things that go bump at night exist there.
Yeah, like from here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a invisible border that...
Fog of War.
Yeah, but the general idea of there it be, but you don't know where it is until it's too late.
Mm-hmm. So,
Okay.
because I want to make sure that you understand what we might go into. We're all kind of going into places we've never been.
Okay.
But I think in general, no one on this earth that I've seen knows what happened.
If
Could be
anyone
nothing.
does, it's the law keepers, and even I can't access that kind of information, so...
I wish I could give you the answers. And I don't want to risk you. Or any of you.
Preparedness is the core of this conversation. We want to be
Right.
secure in our decision making, and educating each other on what lies ahead is an incredibly useful element to this evening.
I agree.
In fact, so Dorothy, I see you scared. I'm sorry if this has hurt you, but
It's okay.
it is, I think, incredibly important that we all are aware of the undertaking we are about to pursue, have already begun. But it doesn't end here. It only goes further.
I think I'm mostly just overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a
It's a
lot.
lot of
It's a lot to
information.
absorb. Yeah.
I kind of just bump into Duathi and lean to give some support. Now, that being said, we're all very capable,
Mm-hmm.
but it does, there's just so many questions. There's so many things that we have yet to figure out about this big, beautiful, terrifying world.
Yeah.
I find it easy to get lost in the questions, even with the system. When that happens, Dorothy, I like to just fall back on the things I do know, the facts, the things that I can know for certain, because I've seen them with my own eyes. And that brings comfort, in a way. So let's leave the questions for the night. I think we've done enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we all need a little bit of rest, and I don't wanna overwhelm Dorothy further.
We'll sip our tea.
If you do have any questions, we're happy to.
Where
Fill
would
in.
I find out more about this Ashen Veil?
With us, I think, if we are to continue towards the prowling fields.
Yeah, but I mean, unfortunately, the answer is we don't know, and no one really knows. The information is lost.
Okay.
That is one of the purposes of my organization, to collect that information, bring it back, maybe restore a piece of history. But again, I don't have access to the records of what we do know, so I trust what I see, and everything is new to me out here, Dorothy. I understand that overwhelming feeling. One thing I know is you can hold your own,
I can.
and together we
That's how you can.
hold our own. Even better.
Jokes. Do you need a hug?
I mean, I will take a hug.
Cute.
That is a very nice hug.
I also find a lot of comfort in patting Chauncey on the head if you want to.
I will take advantage of the patting of
Cool.
him on the head.
And as you pat Chauncey on the head, it is far warmer than it was this morning, as you've all been collected around, sharing the heat. A bell goes off in the distance, marking the late passage of time.
Right.
As you all sip on your tea, finish your meal, one by one, head back to your separate rooms, stay in your collective. With some decisions to make in the morning as to where exactly you are going to go next. That is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Ooh-wee. Okay.
Screaming, crying, throwing up.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us. We will be back again next week, 7 p.m., to see what happens and where our adventures are going to go from here. What this contraband might be. What in the world is going on with these creatures. And what might live in the prowling fields. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.